Hello and welcome to coverage here on the Commentary Hub, alternative off-tube commentary, remote commentary as we bring you tonight's Scottish Premiership encounter. It's the Old Firm derby, Celtic against Rangers, and Russ and your host for this evening. Should be a cracking game in prospect this evening. Hopefully you're all doing okay this evening. We've got our commentators standing by. Mike Ornament is the man who will give some headline team news very, very shortly. He's joined by Matthew McCullum as well. Will be getting ready for his commentary of debut. Let's hopefully he has a fantastic start to his commentary debut here on the TC Hub, and I'm sure we'll have him on plenty more times as well in the future. First game since Sunday, and hopefully everyone he's had a fantastic week so far. Some brilliant games of action which I've been watching and listening to over the past couple of days as well, including Rotherham United's 5-0 win yesterday against bitter rivals Doncaster Rovers, which sees Doncaster remain bottom of the table, and the Millers remain top of League One, 3 points clear now of second place Wigan Athletic. But our attention tonight turns to the Scottish Premiership and the Old Firm derby. Let's get ready for the kick-off then this evening, and let's fetch in your match commentator for the very first time this evening is Mr. Mike Ornament, and he's got the headline team news for us. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, Russ. Good evening, everybody. So the two sides line up today with, we'll start off with Rangers. McGregor keeps his place in goal, then Tavernier, and then we've got Golson, Bassi and Barisic along the back with Arfield, Kamara and Aribo, the men in midfield with Diallo, Kemar Roof who's come in, and Kent up top as well. And then as for Celtic, it's Hart, Juranovic, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Taylor, O'Reilly, McGregor, Hatete, Abada, Giacomakis, probably completely butchered his name by the way, and Neves Felipe. I'll try and get his pronunciation right before the end of when I go through these teams again. The Rangers subs, by the way, are Lundstrom, Jack, Davis, Itton, Sands, Balogun, Sakala, McLaughlin and Lowry. And then as for Celtic, it's Scales, Sorrow, McCarthy, Bain, Maeda, Forrest, Ralston, Walsh and Doak. And then the match officials, we've got Bobby Madden is the referee. We've got David McGeechee on as well as the assistant referee, alongside Daniel McFarlane and also David Monroe, who's fourth official for this one. So that is how the two sides are lining up, and also who the match officials are.
Thank you very much there, Mike Ornament. We're back with Mike very, very shortly for the kick-off in this Old Firm derby. Don't go anywhere. Your commentary team of Mike Ornament and Matthew McCullum will be with us very, very shortly. Building up to kick-off then, we're looking ahead to this game, and Celtic are currently just 2 points behind Rangers and looking to go top of the table. Rangers 2 points clear at the summit and won the first derby of the season by a goal to nil, and Giovanni van Bronckhorst, the former Dutch player, is managing his first Old Firm game this evening. He's in charge of Rangers. Looking ahead to this game, then I was reading earlier and saying that Joe Hart has got the most clean sheets in the Scottish Premiership so far this season. Let's mention our co-commentator for this evening, Matthew McCallum, is alongside us right now. And Matt, very good evening to you. Welcome to the commentary. Welcome to all our partner channels as well: Storm FM, JB Sports, J-DAC Football, and also the commentary Hub 2 as well, and also on the Twitch channel as well. Some great. Hopefully you'll enjoy your debut this evening. Looking ahead to this one then should be a very, very good game and a very good encounter between these two sides. Obviously, we won't divulge on air for your team is, but during the evening, people will probably get to know the team that you follow in Scotland and the team that you support. But first of all, Matthew, welcome to the commentary. How you doing, mate? You doing okay?
Good evening, Russ. Thank you for having me. And yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. And yes, we've got a very exciting match in store this evening. Hopefully it lives up to the expectations.
Yes, and obviously, Matthew, you're looking ahead to this game. And as I mentioned, Rangers sitting 2 points clear at the top and won the first All Firm derby of the season 1-0 earlier in the campaign and are doing fairly well recently, and Celtic just that 2 points behind with a better goal difference. So Rangers will hoping to be adding more goals to their goal difference tally and taking some off Celtic this evening. As we know in derby matches, form goes out of the window in any competition, in any league where there is derby. So which of the key battles are you looking forward to seeing today from the teams as well? And what do you make to that comment which I made about Joe Hart having the most clean sheets in the Scottish Premiership this season?
I didn't actually know that myself, Russ. Joe Hart's a very good goalkeeper. Obviously, he's a England international. He's won league titles in England. He's going to be tough to beat this evening. But the key battles I'm looking forward to is Ryan Kent against Greg Taylor and Amad Diallo, the young 19-year-old who's on loan from Manchester United, facing against Juranovic. I'm not 100% sure that the Celtic defence would be able to handle the pace. However, there could be a couple of key battles in midfield with Joe Aribo battling to get past Hatate and Scott Arfield trying to get past Jan Kunovmis. So only time will tell. One thing I can guarantee about this match is that it's going to be a very fast-paced game and the tackles will be flying in from the very first minute.
Yes, and we're looking ahead to this game then, looking forward to seeing how these two sides play out this evening. Celtic are winless in 6 All-Firm meetings, the longest one without victory since March 2000. Obviously, it should be a very good game. Celtic extended Rangers unbeaten in this fixture to 7 games in all competitions with 6 wins and a draw, so 6 straight wins for Rangers when they won through Philip Lander in August, and then late in August, and then there should be some key battles, and obviously Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has come in, and I've got a bit of stuff for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, which he'll be hoping to break this evening. Tonight is Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's first All-Firm derby as Rangers manager. None of the last 4 Ibrox bosses have won their first league game against Celtic. So, Matthew, obviously Rangers fans will be hoping that can change tonight. And looking at the side that is put out, obviously you mentioned Diallo, Kent, Arfield, Aribo in bit of build up a few moments ago. Which ones of those players do you reckon will be the key to helping Giovanni Van Bronckhorst become the first manager for Rangers to win in their first league game against Celtic?
Well, I don't think it's just one player, Russ. I think all 4 of them are going to be key to tonight's game. They all offer something different. On the wings, you've got Ryan Kent and Amad Diallo, who offer that pace, who can stretch the Celtic defence and hopefully get in behind and put some fizzing balls into the box. In central midfield, you've got Joe Aribo and Scott Arfield. I'm going to be guessing that Joe Aribo will be playing further up the pitch because he's more suited to being that number 10. And he's so unpredictable on the ball. He can literally go on wee mazy runs and take players on and do things you just wouldn't expect. And Scott Arfield is a more creative one. He's got that head on him where he can pick out a pass out of nowhere. He can see things that possibly other players can't. But one thing I am surprised about tonight is, and with the signing of Aaron Ramsey, I thought he could have played a crucial role in tonight's match. I'm quite surprised not to see him on the bench.
Yes, and we were speaking earlier and you thought Giovanni Van Bronckhorst might have been bluffing and saying that he wasn't going to be involved, and then a curfew later on that said that he was going to be involved. He was right in his pre-match press conference that he wasn't going to be involved tonight. Just looking at I'm just reading a comment here from former Rangers striker Kenny Miller, who believes that Kemar Roofe will fetch the best out of the Rangers midfield. He says it's pretty much as expected for Rangers. Thought Kemar Roofe would have started on the weekend. Maybe they were saving him for tonight. I think you'll get the best version of the Rangers midfield you saw before the winter break. Roofe is more of a goal threat and seems to know the role and will play better than Cedric Itten, and he reckons that will suit Arfield and Aribo. Do you agree with Kenny Miller there that the starter for Kemar Roofe will be playing better and will suit Arfield and Aribo more than Itten up front tonight, Matthew?
Excuse me. Honestly, no, I don't. Yeah, Roof may help Roof out a lot, and so would Arfield. However, Roof doesn't have the same movement as likes of Alfredo Morelos has. Alfredo Morelos will be a big miss tonight, and obviously he's away on international duty with Colombia, but he hasn't made the squad for the last 2 games. So I was kind of hoping that Rangers might have recalled him back for tonight, because Roof doesn't have the same presence in the box that Morelos has. Yes, Roof can score goals. He can produce magic. But I don't feel he's the player we need for tonight.
Yes, kickoff is fast approaching then, and we're getting ready for kickoff very, very shortly. We'll be bringing back Matthew in a few moments' time before we hand over to him and Mike. But just at the moment, we're just going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back here on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary and remote off-tube commentary of Celtic against Rangers in the Scottish Premiership. With the team almost getting ready now and standing by in the tunnel for ahead of this kickoff, ahead of this match this evening. Just one final thing, Matthew, before we hand over to Mike Gondelman and yourself ahead of kickoff. Matthew, what is your score prediction for this evening's game? Earlier on in the Facebook group chat off air, I said I reckon it'll be 2-1 either way. Obviously, Mike will not ask him because we'll leave him as being the commentator tonight. Our friend JB from JB Sports, he reckons it'll be a 1-1 draw. Well, Matthew, what do you reckon the score's going to be tonight? And who do you reckon is going to come out on top in this Old Firm derby?
Now, this might give away who I support, but my feeling is that Rangers will come out 2-1 winners this evening and continue that 3 years unbeaten run against Celtic.
So there is Matthew's thoughts ahead of kickoff. The teams are just getting ready to come out. Just before we hand over to your commentary team of Matthew McCallum and Mike Orman, Lucky Sadler says 2-0 Rangers this evening, and I'm sure a lot of Rangers fans will be happy if that was the case. As the teams are now just in the tunnel ahead of kickoff, I was just about to emerge from the tunnel. Let's hand over to your match commentary team. Is Matthew McCallum, but first, Mike Orman.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you for the introduction there. So this is going to be a really tasty game. Of course, two sides that are flying high. Of course, Celtic having home advantage and the crowd behind them as well, which of course is something that Rangers don't have. There's no away fans in attendance today for this game, or this evening for this game. So it's only the Celtic fans that are in the stadium this evening, which I'm sure will play a part as well if Celtic do get themselves on the front foot early on. But we'll come to you in a second, Matt, as well. Once we go through the two sides once more before we get into getting the game underway. But we've got McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Bassi, Barisic, Arfield, Kamara, Aribo, Diallo, Roofe, and Kent, who are all starting for Rangers. And then Hart, Juranovic, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Taylor, O'Reilly, McGregor, Hatete, Abada, Giacomakis, and Neves Felipe, who make up the Celtic side there. So it's going to be a really tasty game. And just want to come to you, Matt. Obviously, we were talking about the fact that there's no away fans in attendance today. And do you think that's going to play, a bit of a part or quite a big part in this game this evening as well?
It could play a massive part this evening, yes. However, the fans of Rangers all gathered outside Ibrox as the team were leaving and gave them a massive send-off. So I reckon that would give the confidence boost to the Rangers players that they need. Not that they need any confidence boost for going into a derby match, because they should all know what's at stake. However, it's a derby match. Anything can happen.
And the players have just taken the knee now, and it's Rangers that are going to get us off and running and just play the ball backwards at the minute and try and get a bit of early possession there. And it's actually given away there, and Rangers are just going to try and counter. In fact, who was that there? Who's that there? I can't see who that is. I'll have to make it try and zoom in there. It's a bit further away on the opposite side, but it's back with Celtic now anyway. And I'll grow into this in a minute once the ball's gone out of play there. So it's going to be with Rangers keeper McGregor, and we've got to touch on actually McGregor keeping his place after, of course, the 3-3 draw at the weekend. And do you think it's the right decision, or do you think it's a bit of a bold move for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst to keep him in between the sticks today?
Not at all. Yes, he made a few absolute howlers at the weekend, but McGregor's got the experience to know what he did wrong. He'll have learned from his mistakes on Saturday at lunchtime, and he's a big game player. I mean, you just have to look at the Sparta Prague game in the Europa League a couple of months ago and the double save he made. I mean, for someone who turned 40 years old on Monday, he's still at the top of his game, and he's bailed Rangers out many a time, and I reckon he'll continue to do the same.
And it's going to be a big test for him if Celtic can start early. And they've actually just got the ball down and out wide there, and it's actually gone out of play. I think it was Ariba that just saw it. In fact, it was Glenn Kamara just saw that one out of play there. And it was down the left-hand side. I think it might have been Hatete that was trying to get in as well for Postecoglou's side. Probably completely butchered his name there. But with Giovanni Van Bronckhorst as well, former Rangers player, and I'm sure the Rangers fans, are delighted to have somebody of his caliber in charge. He was successful as a player and spent many years playing the game at Rangers himself before moving on and then going into management.
Yes, that's right. He's a great addition to have, and just the work he did at Feyenoord alone is enough to make me personally confident that he's a good fit for Scottish football. He's a good fit for Rangers.
There's a chance here just for a minute. Celtic in possession now, over on the right-hand side with the number 11, Abada. It's supposed to whip one in, and it's back now with Rangers again, but it's actually going to go is Abada again. I think it might be Jovanovic there now as well, is it? Just going to win her. In fact, it's not even a corner. Come off of Barisic there and behind for a throw. Early pressure from Celtic, and of course, with the crowd there and the back end as well, this is a dangerous opportunity here from this corner. It's just taken quickly as well, and back with, I think that's Abada again, going to whip it in there, and good defending, is it? No, it's second time lucky for the Rangers man there, and hooked clear by Ryan Kent in the end, and back with Celtic once more now. But Celtic have certainly, started the brighter of the two sides in this game in 3.5 minutes or so.
Yes, that's right. Celtic have definitely started the better team, and it's to be expected.
It's just an opportunity here, and it's with that. Can't see who that was there, but it's all the way back with Carter Vickers now anyway, and he's played it to, as he said, the back part of the staff out there, and back to Carter Vickers again, and I think that's on to Abada now. Going to run into the area, and Abada's going to try and get across in, and it's taking a deflection there and gone behind for a corner, and Sorry to cut you off there, but yeah, just another opportunity there for Celtic to get the ball moving forward. And again, it looks like Abada is one of the men that's really getting involved early on.
Yes, that's right. He's definitely going to be a danger man, and I guess it was a man
chance
that
here
was...
from the corner, and it's a goal for Celtic. It's gone in, and there's a Rangers man down there, but the goal has been scored by Celtic after 4 minutes there. And just want to see what the Rangers man was that was down, but it looks like it might have been.
I think that was Glenn Kamara that was down.
Glenn Kamara that was down, and it looks like the goal has been scored by who was that? There was that the number? Wasn't.
That was Habade that scored the Japanese international.
Oh, yeah. So he's...
oh, that's...
Is that a foul? Just want to have a look there, yeah.
I think this could be ruled out, Mike.
Let's have a look there if it's going to be ruled out for a foul. What was it? A clash of heads? It was Hatete, sorry, that scored the goal on number 41. And it was a good finish. It took, he took it very, very well and it nestled into the bottom corner. But we have to wait and see whether it does get ruled out because there was a Rangers man down there injured as well. And we'll have to wait and see whether anything's going to happen with that. Doesn't look like it is, though. It doesn't look like the goal is going to stand at the moment. But they are checking with the VAR, I guess that is. I'm not too sure who's actually on VAR. I'm not too sure if you know that because it didn't.
No, there's no VAR in Scotland, so we're going purely on what the assistant referee is seeing.
Oh, on the assistant referee, so David McGeechee and David McFarlane, they're the two men that who is in conversation with their Bobby Madden.
That's right. It looks like the goal might stand.
It looks like it's the two Rangers players there that have kind of collided with each other. I don't think there's a Celtic player involved in that personally.
Yeah, I don't think there was either. So I believe the goal stands. So it's 1-0 to Celtic.
That's a good finish as well. Took very nicely by Hatete there, the Japanese international, as you said.
Credit where credit's due. It was a sublime finish, and I don't think McGregor could get any fingertips on it.
And that's an interesting thing there as well. That, of course, we said about McGregor conceding 3 at the weekend, and now he's conceded 1 here early on as well. So it's going to maybe test him a little bit now and test the kind of, backbone of him as a character, I suppose. Obviously, he's an international and he should be absolutely fine and it shouldn't really affect him too much. But to concede 3 and then to concede 1 this quickly as well, it's going to be something that possibly might play on his mind a little bit.
Yeah, so it could quite easily play on his mind, but McGregor's got the mentality that he'll come back stronger. He'll realise that he probably had no chance of stopping that goal because it was a terrific finish by the Japanese international. And I'll throw you back to a couple of seasons ago when Rangers were 2-0 down to Braga and in the Europa League and came back to win 3-2. So anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Well, it's only early days, of course. There's only 7 coming on for 8 minutes of the game, so plenty of time for Rangers to get themselves back into this game and to pull themselves back to the top of the league again as well, which of course Celtic have taken away from them going 1-0 up. So, as things stand, Celtic are decided up the top of the league right at this present moment in time. And it's with Hatete again now, just over on the left-hand side, playing it into midfield there. And it's now back to Carter Vickers, I think that was. And I think Taylor trying to knock it on as well. And it's with the goal scorer again. Is that there?
Yes, that's right. Celtic really look up for this, and Rangers are looking a bit lethargic. I don't think their heads are quite in it, and they need to pick up soon.
And of course, Rangers, unbeaten this season, haven't lost this season yet in league action, and actually you can throw it back to their last defeat, which was actually a 1-0 defeat back in. I can tell you when it was. Just give me 1 second. I know I literally wrote it down a second ago, but it's going to be interesting to see how they can bounce back now because that was their first defeat in something like 40-41. That defeat when they lost 1-0 before. to, is it Livingston? I'll have to double check in a minute. But
I think you might actually be right with that. I think it was either Livingston or Dundee United. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment, but it's one of the teams that you wouldn't expect it to be.
it was Dundee United. Sorry, yeah, you are right. It was the one on the 7th of August. Yeah.
That's right.
So-
Yes. Yeah.
So it's about bouncing back from going behind here for Rangers now, and it's actually a bit of a easy ball there for the Celtic defence to kind of eat up there, and it's now just with Cameron Carter-Vickers there, the USA international, playing it out to. It's gone to Abada. Sorry, I think O'Reilly was that involved as well. Maybe it's out
Quite
for a Rangers throw there.
I just noticed there that Callum McGregor, the Celtic captain, has gone for an Avenger look and is sporting a lovely face mask.
The marks, I saw that as he was coming out. I don't know if that was an injury or what that was about. Excuse me, Ryan Jack was just on the attack there for Rangers, and it was actually McGregor that just helped him out to get the ball behind.
Ryan Kent was on the attack, yes. Ryan Kent could be crucial tonight if he's at his best.
And it's out with Barisic there, and it's just gone behind for a Rangers throw there. And it does look quite an interesting, kind of pretty funky kind of mask there. Pretty, I don't know whether that was because of an injury, but it looks pretty cool anyway.
It does look cool, doesn't it? I believe Cal McGregor picked up quite a serious facial injury in a Scottish Cup tie against Alloa a couple of weeks ago.
So it's because of that, and that's actually why he was out for the last few games as well. Okay, yeah. It's with Goldson there, just heading that one forward and out wide to Ryan Kent again. And good feet from Ryan Kent as well. Now on to Barisic once more, trying to find Kent, but it's gone behind off of the Celtic defender for a Rangers throw there. Celtic 1, Rangers 0. Goal scorer was Hatete.
I'm glad you can pronounce his name.
I'm trying, mate. Yeah. trying to see how it goes when is it Giacomakis scores. We'll see what happens when he scores or if he scores.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's gone out of play there for a Celtic throw. It's quite difficult actually to spot these. You know, I don't mind it with Rangers because you can spot their numbers relatively easy, but with Celtic, you know, obviously the hoop shirts and the numbers on the back, it's not very easy to spot the numbers of who they are.
It's really not, does it? Even I'm struggling to see what the numbers are saying.
Yeah. Well, we know it's Ryan Kent in possession for Rangers right now anyway. And he's just lost out there. In fact, he's won the free kick against McGregor that time, the Celtic captain. You can spot him from a mile off, so maybe they should all wear face. Maybe they should all wear face masks.
All different coloured face masks of our favourite Avenger.
Absolutely. Or maybe if they score, you might have an Avengers celebration. You never know.
Oh, who knows? Maybe Captain America will come out to play.
Yeah. It's going to be a free kick here for Rangers. It's going to be whipped in by Barisic there, and it's all the way through to. Who was that there? It was on the right back to Vernie, I think it was in the end, and now it's just hook clear, but only sort of half clear really. And Celtic are just going to get a second bite of the cherry, and they can clear it out better that time, and all the way back to the defender, which I think is that Bassey or is that Goldson on that side? I think it might be Goldson actually. I'm not too sure.
Goldson will be playing.
Yeah, that is Goldson
on the right,
that side. Yeah.
and Bassey on the left.
And then obviously the midfielder was Aribo as well, was involved a minute ago. Now it's out left to Barisic, and then back to the midfielder of Kamara there as well. And it's now back with McGregor from Bassey. And hook clear, looking for Aribo, and given away there. And it's now back with Celtic, and all the way back with Joe Hart. Joe Hart, of course, started his career in the lower divisions of the English League, playing at Shrewsbury Town. Takes a lot for somebody to do that, and then obviously make a big step up to play for teams such as Manchester City, and now obviously another huge side in Rangers as well. In Celtic as well, I should say. And obviously played for England as well. So Joe Hart is obviously one of those players that has really achieved a lot in the game from a very low starting point, which is always nice to see.
Very much so, mate. Very much so. I also like to give a wee shout out to the player on the bench for Rangers, James Sands, the American international who signed for Rangers from New York City FC. Could potentially make his Old Firm debut today. He's got the talent to be a very good player, and I'm intrigued to see how he gets on.
That's a shot of goal down. That's a good save from McGregor, and it's a great double save actually. The second save from McGregor as well was the Celtic man there was following it in. I think it might have been I don't know whether one of them was Giacomakis or the original shot or the second shot, but McGregor there was big, he stood tall, and he made two fantastic saves there to deny Celtic from making that two.
Yes, that was Alan McGregor at his best, and long may that continue, because he is going to be crucial tonight on keeping Rangers in this game with how the match has started.
And it's won back by Rangers, and actually it's now with Barisic there, and it's gone behind for a Rangers throw. Just going to see these two saves again now from McGregor. The first one was from a sloppy ball, actually, from Tavernier, I think that was. And so then he was very alert and reacted well to the danger. I think it was Abada, the goal scorer, the first one. And then following in was, I think it might have been Taylor, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But two very, very good saves nonetheless for Alan McGregor. And that's going to do his confidence the world of good after conceding early and, of course, the weekend as well.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's very hard because, like I said earlier, and I'm probably going to keep going back to this point. It's just so unpredictable in derby games, and with there being no away fans there, it looks like it's being playing more apart than I thought it might.
Here's Ryan Kent, good feet from him, and well defended by Juranovic, and it's just taking a deflection off of Kent there, who looks to the officials, to Bobby Madden there, saying about a potential free kick, and nothing was doing, and it was a Celtic throw, which was kind of wasted, really, but they got possession back in the end, and in fact, it's now gone behind for a Celtic throw off of, I think that was off of, I'm not too sure, the midfielder that time. I'm not so sure that was it Arfield, maybe?
Possibly, I briefly missed who it was.
That's all right. Yeah, so it's with the Celtic keeper Joe Hart now, just from Juranovic there, and knocked on to, is that Carter Vickers, I believe, or Starfelt, one of the two defenders anyway, and then out to the goal scorer Hatese, I think that is in possession now. I'm just going to knock it back once more to centre backs, just playing simple balls between the pair of them at the moment in their own half. And going to try and look up, and in fact he's been forced to go across to his centre-back partner again, who it's good bit of play there. Juranovic now for Celtic, and it's a chance for, that was Abada, and then it was a good delivery in, and I think it was Giacomakis who was forcing McGregor there into another very, very good save, and see what happens here from this corner. It's a chance there. It's just gone over the top there from, I think that's Giacomakis again, who might have been offside there. But again, Alan McGregor that time, a third very good save in the space of a couple of minutes there.
Yes, that's right. And Rangers are sitting far too deep in this match. They need to really start taking the game to Celtic, because the longer they sit deep, the harder it's going to be to break out and get at their faces.
And of course, we mentioned earlier on in the programme about obviously the record between Rangers and Celtic in recent years, but Celtic have actually still won the most amount of games in the derby here, the Old Firm derby. They won 27 to Rangers is 21 from the last 58, with 10 of those being draws. So Celtic still have the edge in terms of longer term results.
Yes, they do, and I'm actually quite surprised by that stat. It's also one that I wasn't aware of, so that's as an interesting stat to know. I didn't realize that Celtic had won more.
Yeah, six more victories. Yeah, it's just a free kick here for Celtic now.
Looks like it
Rangers.
could be quite a dangerous free kick as well.
It does. It's a good position there. It looks like it's going to be one that's going to be whipped in by Taylor, the left back, I believe. See what happens here. But of course, Carter Vickers and Starfelt up from the back, and it's whipped in and whipped long and sort of just evades everyone and goes behind for a Rangers goal kick there. And you're saying obviously there that you thought it was obviously a dangerous area, and he just got it all wrong when he didn't he there, Taylor. Just wasn't able to find his own man there. Just got too much on that one.
Exactly that. He got too much on it. If I was Greg Taylor in that situation, I would have just floated it into the box, ready for a defender or even a midfielder to just get their head on it and direct it goalwards.
And of course, it's still continuing on with Celtic looking to try and get on the front foot as much as they can in this game. Of course, they do have the lead through Tete's early goal as well. And we're yet to really see the likes of Roof and Diallo and Kent. We've seen Kent in flashes, but we've not seen anything of Roof or Diallo as of yet.
We really haven't. And the longer the game goes on, I hate to say it, but the less likely we are going to see them involved. The game's just too compact at the moment for those three players to combine. And hopefully something gets changed because Rangers really are not at the races at the moment.
It's with Bassey now, and it's gone back to McGregor again, and it looks like Rangers are just trying to get a couple of passes together really, and trying to do something with it. Here's Arfield there. Has he fouled? It looks like the referee's going to give that as a free kick, and can't argue with that. The first yellow card of the game as well. Certainly correct.
Definitely
there.
Can't argue with that.
The Celtic skipper, of course, there. Arfield going on a run that Burnley fans in particular have seen of him over the years.
Yes, that's right. He's a cracking player, Scott Arfield. Tons of experience, and he did well to draw that foul in and get the Celtic captain booked.
And of course, that's an easy one to point out. That's obviously McGregor, the first man in the book there. It's going to be Tavernier to take the free kick as well, by the way. He's going to whip this one in.
Hopefully James Tavernier's crossing is at its usual standards.
It's with Kent, and Kent's going to knock it back to the left back of Barisic there. And this crossing, it was a decent enough cross. It was just well defended by the Celtic defence there, and forced Rangers to go back to McGregor once more. And McGregor has just got his kicking all wrong now.
Oh, that was a horrific kick out by Alan McGregor. He should have done miles better with that.
It's just a throw here for Celtic now, and I think that's is that Taylor's taking it? It's with given away anyway. And on the attack comes Tavernier there.
That's right.
And now it's with Kent once more, and Ryan Kent here. What can he do? Is he going to be able to get a shot away? He can, but takes a deflection, and it's up into the penalty area there, and it's a chance for Aribo. Aribo, in fact, it wasn't Aribo, it was actually Diallo, sorry, that time, the online Manchester United man.
Yeah, I'm hoping Diallo can get a bit more on the ball because he showed at the weekend against Ross County that he's capable of producing something out of nothing. And this could arguably be the perfect game for Diallo, given he's played in matches for Manchester United this season in front of probably more hostile crowds than this. And it is a big chance for the young man, a very big chance.
And I'm just looking there, just obviously Rangers are in possession now, but just before that, just a moment ago, it looked like it was actually a bit of a late challenge on Kamara there. But Rangers are in possession still anyway, and it looks like the Rangers man's perfectly fine. But it looks like that was one of those ones that he was lucky that he didn't catch him more than he actually did, because that would have been a nasty one if he caught Kamara a little bit worse off there.
Yes, that's right. That could have been a really bad injury for Glenn Kamara, potentially season-ending. However, like you said, he's done well to get out of the way of that and not end up badly injured.
It's with Rangers once more. It's Aribo now. He's getting a little bit more into the game a little bit for Rangers now, apart from, as I just say that, the commentator's curse hits and he just passes it straight to a Celtic man.
Oh, the dreaded commentator's curse. Dare I say that Rangers are starting to come more into this match?
They are starting to grow into the game a little bit there. As you just say that, there was a foul given against Tavernier, though, so probably commentator's curse part 2, but...
Yes, I'm not convinced that's a foul, if I'm completely honest. I mean,
I didn't think there was much in it, yeah.
Football's a contact sport, you know. You can't be stopping the whistle for every single foul.
No, that's a very good point as well. And there's some fouls which are, obviously very obvious, but that one for me was just, there's nothing in that at all.
Yeah, nothing in that at all, and he should have just let play continue.
It's a chance here for Arfield, and in fact, it's now going to be Kent to try and close that one down, but he did shove his man off the ball there, and referee's given a free kick there against Ryan Kent for that shove on Juranovic, and again, that's quite a soft free kick in my opinion, to be fair.
That's another soft free kick, yeah, but this is one thing you're all going to find out from a Scottish game is for referees will give a free kick for anything and everything. I'm not sure if it's the same down in England, Wales, even in Europe.
Yeah.
It's VAR is needed in Scotland.
So the league record, by the way, games 62, wins 50, draws 11. What was that? I don't know whether that was 11. I'm not too sure what that was there. In terms of I don't know whether that was the last amount of games in the Old Firm derby, but I don't know what that stat was. But it's a chance here, and again, Alan McGregor has to be alert there, and he is alert as well to deny Giacomakis there. And it's a very good bit of play from Celtic. Is he onside? Looks like he would have been onside, so that would have stood in my opinion as well. And it's another good save. So Alan McGregor has conceded early on, but since that he's made probably 3, maybe even 4 saves to keep the score just at 1-0.
Yes, that's right, and you can see Alan McGregor shouting at the defence there, and he's quite right. So the defence has been extremely poor. And
a chance here for Aribo. Is that foul? Oh, I want to see that again. I look like it might have been.
That's a penalty. That's a penalty. That's a foul.
It looked like a foul for me. Let's have a look. There's Aribo. He's beaten his man. He's certainly taken Aribo out there for me.
Yeah, that's a penalty in my eyes. I don't know how the referee's not giving that. That's as clear a penalty as you'll ever see.
You were just saying about the referees giving everything, and then they decided they don't want to give anything now. So
exactly, commentators curse. Commentators curse. But that's a clear as day penalty in my book.
It did look like Diallo was not Diallo. Sorry, Aribo was unlucky not to get that one. Yeah.
Yes, and it goes back to what I was saying pre-show. Aribo can literally take his man on anywhere, and literally, the best way to describe Aribo is he's got magic feet. And you see that from the Nigerian national team as well. I would arguably say he's Nigeria's best player.
And of course, there's a few of them as well. Bassey's another one, of course, Nigerian international that's playing as well at defence today. But it's now with the Celtic defence there, and I think that's Starfelt on that side.
So going back to that stats that you were just saying there, Mike, the Rangers league record since March 2020 is we've played 62 matches, won 50, drawn 11, and lost 1.
Which was the Dundee game that we touched on earlier, yeah.
Yeah, so that's some records, and the Rangers fans and players will be desperate to keep that record going.
And of course, we said about earlier on with Giovanni Van Bronckhorst coming in and yet to taste defeat as Rangers manager.
That's right. He's had a fantastic start to his managerial career at Rangers, and at the moment, it doesn't look like that's going to continue tonight. And if the Rangers players continue playing the way they are, I can see a few hot-headed discussions.
O'Reilly here now from. There's a good tackle there from was that Aribo there, and now it's a bit of space for Kent, and now that's with Diallo trying to find Kent and just goes behind it and seen behind by Joe Hart there. But again, Rangers trying to get themselves forward and further up the pitch a little bit quicker there.
That's right. And it looks like Diallo, Kent, and Aribo could have actually swapped positions and are rotating. It looked like Diallo came out to the left there, Ryan Kent to the right, or playing through the middle with Joe Aribo playing as a right winger / number 10. So that's an interesting tactical move by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Change it up a little bit. It's not bad when you're obviously, once you're losing the game, obviously there's always different kind of things you've worked on in training throughout the week in the build up to the game, which I'm sure, different plans and things like that, which I'm sure Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has had, 3 or 4 plans, which he's looked at.
Yes, that's right. I'd imagine Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has several game plans in mind, but I don't think he would have been prepared to going 1-0 down after 4 minutes. I don't think anyone can prepare for that.
No, that's a fair shout, actually. But obviously, away from home, maybe it's something you can prepare for a little bit more, but I suppose not really. And obviously, you don't really want to have to prepare for it. Here's Kamara now to Bassi there, and he plays it out to Barisic there. But yeah, it's gonna whip this cross in. But go on, what were you going to say there?
I'm going to say Calvin Bassey is another player who Rangers signed from Manchester City, and he's actually a left back, so he's playing out of position today. He's playing in central defence,
left-sided centre back, yeah.
Which is a bit concerning when you've got Leon Balogun on the bench.
But he's just coming back though, so I suppose maybe they don't want to give him more than maybe a half or something, yeah.
There is that aspect, yes. However, I go by the motto: if you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to start.
I agree as well. No, I do agree with that. It's just a corner here for Rangers off of Tavernier's cross as well. So an opportunity for the likes of Bassi to get up from the back now.
Exactly, yes. This could be a crucial corner, especially if Connor Goldson and Calvin Bassey are in the box. Just need James Tavernier to get it spot on.
It's a good delivery as well and hook clear in the end, but only as far as Glenn Kamara, who's back there.
Looked to me like there was a bit of fouling in the box there, which the referee didn't spot.
It's an opportunity here for Celtic to counter as well now, and it's with Hatete, the goal scorer, but that's fantastic defending from Glenn Kamara there. Of course, a man who, I know from his early days at Arsenal, thought he, didn't really get much of an opportunity at Arsenal, and obviously there was rumours that he was going to re-sign for Arsenal back in, was it the summer window or the window before that as well after his performance at the Euros.
That's correct, Mike. Yes, he's been linked to a lot of clubs, and rightly so. He's had a fantastic season, and he actually, during his time with Arsenal, he was actually playing with Aaron Ramsey, who's just signed on loan from Juventus for Rangers, and to be playing of that sort of caliber can only be a good thing for Kamara's development as a player.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, when you look at even the manager, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, was a former Arsenal man as well. That's hook clear there by Goldson and behind for a Celtic corner. But, as you were just saying there, to play alongside Aaron Ramsey can only be good for the likes of Glenn Kamara and also to learn off of somebody like Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, who in his heyday was a top midfielder himself.
That's right. The same with Rangers assistant manager Roy Mackay. We all know what career he had with Bayern Munich and so on, scoring a barrel load of goals in the German top flights, Holland international. There's a lot of good coaching staff and players around for them to learn off.
It's just an opportunity there for Rangers to get the ball up to Diallo, I think that was, and looked like he almost kept it in, but didn't quite. Excuse me, they're just showing Maeda there as well, one of the Celtic subs.
I'm very surprised Maeda's not starting today, although I think he only just got back from international duty in the early hours of the morning, so maybe that's a wise decision by Ange Postecoglou.
That's quite interesting as well. Obviously, with players that are just coming back from international, do you throw them in? Do you put them on the bench? Do you give them an extra few days off? It's an interesting one with that, as it looks like Bassi just shoved his man to the floor there. But it doesn't look like a penalty for me. I think it was, that would have been a lot softer than the one that Joe Aribo didn't get earlier on.
I 100% agree with that, Mike, and I can see riots happening if that penalty was given and the other one wasn't.
He's just out on the right-hand side now with Juranovic there, and also O'Reilly's involved now too.
Yes, that's right. O'Reilly's a very good player, but briefly going back to your comment on the international players, if I was a player, I think I'd be wanting to be thrown in the deep end, especially with the game that's being played and the magnitude of it.
That's quite an interesting, interesting way of looking at it as well. Of course, there's the AFCON, which is going on at the moment, and over here in England, there's been games that players have come back at like midday or 1 o'clock, and then have been on the bench and involved, and it hasn't gone well for them. Thomas Partey against Liverpool being a prime example of that, coming back from AFCON and then also coming on against Liverpool in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final there, and getting himself sent off after making two pretty stupid challenges in that game, to be fair.
Yes, that's right. It was very stupid, and I've just seen a replay of that Calvin Bassey tackle.
Giacomakis, yeah.
And I actually think, seeing the replay of that, he's got away with that because he's kind of almost got his hands wrapped around his chest and rugby tackled him to the ground.
So that's potentially we could have had two penalties in this first half, and yet neither have been given.
Yes, that's right, and I think the Rangers defence got away with one there.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they can sort of bounce back from obviously being 1-0 down here now. Sort of still about 9 minutes of the first half remaining.
That's right. It's going to be an interesting nine minutes, Mike, because Rangers really need to pull a goal back from before half time and not concede.
But they're in the right areas at the minute. They're trying to box Celtic in here, and they have won a throw as well. So that's good pressing from the Rangers front line there, and just to kind of box Celtic in and to keep them in their own half there. Although they have just got it clear now, though, but it's only as far as Rangers again. So they are not really able to get possession for too long, Celtic, or get it and keep it anyway at the moment.
That's right, and this could be crucial for Rangers. They need to get the ball into Celtic's half and pressurise that defence, because the more you pressurise the defence, Celtic are very weak at the back, and if you can make them make one mistake, you've got to take that chance. You have to take it.
A poor kick out from McGregor, but he's got away with that one. He's back with one of his own teammates in the end as well, with Barisic there, and just easily been played simple to Kamara there by Bassi that time, and then out to Barisic there on the left-hand side now. Onto Ryan Kent, who's looking to try and get across in here. It's good feet from Ryan Kent, actually cuts inside and knocks it back to Diallo, and Diallo wins it back as well now. And now it's with Aribo again, and now here's Glenn Kamara. And Rangers just trying to get the ball into Diallo there. And Diallo switches it out to Tavernier, is that, on the right-hand side. And he gets his cross all wrong there. But again, Rangers trying to do something there and getting themselves into a dangerous area for a moment, but they just need to be careful here not to be caught out at the back now, and they've done well there just to make sure that Celtic and Abada can get through. That's good defending by Bassi that time.
That's very good defending, and going back to that chance by Rangers there, I wish Diallo had taken a shot on there, because you need to take the risks in a match like this. You need to shoot from the edge of the box. You can't always work it into the box as per se, because it doesn't always get you anywhere, and it leaves you. There's
a chance here now, and it's just going to be put a good defending there, and Barisic has got it back. What he did there is just trying to knock it back. In fact, he's giving it away, and now is that Juranovic? Just got it there, and There's also, I think Hatete is there as well involved, and McGregor, he's in possession now, sorry, I should say, and then he knocks it out to Cameron Carter-Vickers and then on to Staff out there. But not too dangerous at the minute for Rangers. They're doing quite well. They've got quite a few men back, and I'm sure that's quite a structured way of defending the way they've got it set up at the moment.
I would agree with you there. It's a very structured way of defending, but I think it's a bit too defensive. I would personally, if I was Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, be telling Diallo and Kent.
They've won the ball here, though. That's a good tackle from Glenn Kamara, who's trying to switch it out to Tavernier. And what can he do here? He's going to try and knock it on to... That's Diallo, is that?
Yes, that's
out a little bit more wide this time, and keeps the ball there. If it's done well, he wins the throw as well. That's good play there from the Manu Loney.
Very much so. Although I'm going to be quite critical on him there. I think he's taken too many touches, and he could have actually played the pass into Glenn Kamara there. I think he needs to get his head up and see what's around him.
It's with Rangers again now with Kamara. Gets the ball from Calvin Bassey there, and now the defender Barisic there, and on to Kent, and then it's him or Roof was involved there as well. I think that's the first time I mentioned his name. There's a chance here for Scott Arfield, a good defender there from Joe Hart, and of course knows Scott Arfield very well. I don't actually know if they were on the books together at Burnley. They probably were, in fact.
I think they might have been. Yes, I think so.
That's very sort of meaty challenge, but obviously very, very fair as well. One of those challenges that you love to see in football, with the goalkeeper going for the ball there,
exactly,
and the defender not leaving. Sorry, the striker not backing out of it as well.
Again, it's a case of that's what you want to see. After all, it's a contact sport, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's a shot at goal now, and it's 2-0. What a finish that was again. And I think that's the second for Hatete as well. That is another fantastic goal there. And again, it looks like Hatete is the man that's got it. Another great finish from him.
Yeah, that's a fantastic finish, and I'm sure the listeners have already worked out who I support. However, that is horrific defending by the Rangers.
There's no one anywhere near him. There's, in terms of like the midfielders or whatever, there he's got a free roam with the midfield there. It's a great curling finish, but who's marking him? Who's closing him down? Yeah,
Connor Goldson should be quicker in coming out to his man there, and he's left again the keeper with no chance of stopping it. I mean, if we continue defending like that, this could end up a cricket score. And it's just not good enough. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst needs to have some serious words with his defence and players at halftime.
100%. They might even have to look at the substitutes bench early on as well, which I'm sure he probably wouldn't have wanted to do, but he might be forced to.
Yes, that's right. And just looking at the subs bench just now, I would personally make two substitutes at halftime. I would bring on Ryan Jack for Glenn Kamara, and even though he's just back from injury, Liam Balogun for Calvin Bassey, because yes, Glenn Kamara's made some good tackles and some crucial interceptions, but neither of them have been at the races this first half, and they just.
But would you want to change two subs at half time, and especially one of them being straight out and out defensive subs as well? Would you not want to, if you're Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, maybe go for it a bit more, maybe change it to, I don't know, 3 at the back potentially? I don't know whether they've got the defenders the capability to do that.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. However, I'll stand by my point. In fact, I will now say I would make all 5 changes at halftime. This team has been absolutely dreadful.
You'd make 11 changes if you could.
10.
Actually, McGregor, to be fair to him, has done all right.
McGregor's kept this score down. However, for Rangers defence,
there's a chance. It's free, and that's Hatete with the assist that time, and it's put into the back of the net by the number 11 Abada, and Celtic are absolutely cruising. They're flying.
That's game over. As Rangers don't have a chance of getting in this match, and I love Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. I love what he's about, but he has got it all wrong this evening so far. Those players need to take a long, hard look at themselves at halftime and have serious words, because they're letting
And
the
again,
fans
if
down.
you look at that defending now as well, great ball from Hatete, but what's is it the left back there? Is it Barras? Sorry, it's actually the number 30. Yeah, it's Barisic. It is the left back. Yeah. What's he doing there? Yeah.
What is Borna Barisic doing there? He should be closing his man. Then you could also argue that Connor Golson should be coming to support him.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, you can definitely give that a mention in the conversation for sure. Yeah.
Rangers' defence this evening has been absolutely dreadful, and I have seen some comments on social media over the last few days after Saturday's 3-3 draw with Ross County that they wanted Steven Gerrard and Michael Beale back in charge for this match.
That's interesting. I'm sure a lot of the Rangers fans at half time will be taking to social media to vent their frustrations, regarding this performance as well. So far, we've got 2 minutes of additional time, by the way, and I think those 2 minutes can't come, to an end quick enough for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst on this Rangers side.
I have to be honest. I don't think this match warrants 2 minutes at a time. Just get that halftime whistle blown, get the players in, get that rocket going. Yeah.
That's completely fair, completely understandable that you've said that, and I just want to touch on, we've got a minute and a half left of this first half, and we've touched on Rangers' poor defensive work, but we haven't really yet touched on too much the Celtic star man, and we will do in a minute once. In fact, that's gone out of place. We don't have to worry too much about that. But
I just want to interrupt.
How good has Rio Hatete been in this first half? 2 goals and an assist, excellent.
He's been unplayable, and just wanted to, just seen Giovanni Van Bronckhorst there, and he sat on the bench. Why is he not on the touchline shouting at his players, telling them to do this, telling them to do that? Any manager should be screaming at his players, telling them to get. Why is he not doing that?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's not in his mind, in his sort of way that he does things, or whether he's just thinking, well, I've only got a minute and a half till half time. I'll wait and as you said, give him the rocket at half time, or the reverse of not reverse, but the whatever he wants to do at half time in terms of getting a message across to them. Yeah.
If you were the manager on the touchline, what would you be doing?
See, that's a great question. You'd have to be shouting. You'd have to be barking instructions. You'd have to be. I would be. I'd be out like if I was the Rangers manager right now, I'd be absolutely furious with his first half performance and not really created anything defensive. Wise. They've not looked good enough at all. They've made a lot of poor decisions and a few mistakes in there as well. And it's interesting. Maybe I don't know what Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is going to do at half time, but I would have looked at maybe as the second goal went in, maybe looking at maybe making a substitution even as early as then. But Celtic 3, Rangers 0 at half time, and wow, it's certainly one that those fans, Celtic fans in the stadium, are loving, and the Rangers fans that haven't been given tickets or allowed there are probably quite pleased not to be there at the moment as well.
Oh, I'm definitely pleased. I'm not in attendance, and I'm glad I'm doing the commentary instead, because I'm pretty sure if I was in attendance, I wouldn't be very calm right now.
Is it one of those ones? You'd be half time. You'd be like, well, I'm actually debating whether to go home.
I've done that before. I've done that before. I've actually left. It was a few seasons ago when Celtic beat Rangers 5-0 at Ibrox. I left on 75 minutes.
Oh, wow. And hopefully, for Rangers fans' sake, it's not going to be one of those kind of scorelines or one of those kind of evenings or days again.
Yes, I really hope it's not one of those evenings again. And I just want to give a quick shout out now. It's halftime to everyone watching. It's great that you're all joining us, and a shout out to my friends in America who are listening and watching. I hope you're enjoying the show, and I hope we're doing the game justice.
Yeah, so we're going to hand you back over to Russ now as well. And as we said, at half-time, it is Celtic that are 3-0 leaders against Rangers here. A couple of comments there. JB says, I thought this would be close. Didn't think so. It would be 3-0 up at this stage. Nor did I, if I'm completely honest. But we'll have to wait and see what Rangers can do at half-time, because it's all on them now. And Celtic can just be saying, more of the same from us. And it's about how Rangers come back and how they can get themselves back into this game more than Celtic, having to add to this lead now.
Yes, that's right. It's going to be crucial that Rangers don't concede so early in the second half. And like I was saying during commentary of the match there, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Giovanni Van Bronckhorst make a few changes, if not all 5 changes.
It'll be interesting to see what he does. But I'll hand you back to Russ now in the studio. And it's Celtic absolutely cruising. Hatete's been on fire. Rangers, well, what can they do in the second half? At the minute, they need to wait and see what the answer is for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's men, because Celtic flying, absolutely flying right now.
That is correct, Mike. Thank you very much to Mike Conneman and Matthew McCallum for excellent first half coverage on Celtic against Rangers. Some of the comments to go through in just a few ticks. Let's go through some of the latest and some half-time scores from other matches taking place this evening as we go through some of the matches, and then we'll read some more of your comments out. In the African Cup of Nations, in the semi-finals, Burkina Faso 0, Senegal 1, and on target for Senegal is Abu Diallo from PSG. Senegal thought they could have had 2 penalties in the first half, not given. And for Senegal today, there is no Sadio Mane does start today, as is Edouard Mendy, and they are leading by 1-0. Also in the Premier League Cup is Watford 0, Huddersfield 3. That is the under-23s action in Portugal in the Liga from Portugal. It is Benfica 0, Gil Vicente 2. In the Copa del Rey in Spain, Real Vallecano beat Mallorca by 1-0. In the Championship, half-time scores are Barnsley 0, Cardiff 0, and Huddersfield 0, Derby County 0. Also in the Copa del Rey in the first half, should I say, is Valencia 1, Cadiz 0 is the latest score as well. In that game, there's some friendly matches as Toronto FC taking on Los Angeles FC. They're drawing 0-0 as River Plate taking on Rivianda, and that is also 0-0 is the latest score. In that one, we'll be handing back across to Matthew and Mike in a moment. Just reading a few of the comments out. Paul James says, good afternoon to everyone. He's tuning in from Canada. Hopefully you're doing okay. Paul, thank you for choosing us for your coverage of Celtic against Rangers this evening. Hi to JB, who Mike did read his comment out, but I'll read it again. Hi JB, hopefully you're doing okay. Says he thought this would be close. Didn't think Celtic would be 3-0 up at this stage. But to be honest with you, JB, Celtic have been superb. Rangers, not so good in that first half, and that's putting it mildly. And Matthew, if you can still hear us right now, they're just Crane, one of your friends, says, Matthew, I am following you guys, mate, back in my office now. So thank you very much for you to get in touch as well, and one of Matthew's friends for getting in touch. And thank you very much. Listen, if you're tuned in but do not want to comment, that is fine. Just tune in and listen to us, and we'll bring you the coverage of this game this evening. Danny's on as well. Where's man? Danny says, ouch, as Rangers are losing by 3 goals still. Hopefully you're doing okay, Danny. Thank you very much for tuning in this evening. We're just going to take a quick couple of minute break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back in plenty of time for the second half and some reaction to that first half. It's Celtic 3, Rangers 0 at the break. Welcome back to coverage here on the commentary hub as Celtic lead by 3-0 against Rangers this evening. Hopefully you're all doing fantastic this evening as well and having a good Wednesday, whatever you're up to. And if you're a Rangers fan, surely it can't get any worse than what he did in the first half. And let's mention the co-commentator for this evening, and Matthew McCallum is with us. And Matthew, your thoughts overall on that first half, and what do you think Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has to do in that in this half-time interval to get Rangers back in this game and let's just say competing in that second half, because that first half was one-way traffic, you've got to say, really.
Yes, Russ, that's right. It was. I'm going to be completely very blunt here, but that was shambolic. The defence of Rangers really need to get their acts together, because I could defend better than they did for all of the goals. Celtic are playing Rangers off the park at the moment, and it's going to take a lot for Rangers to come back into this. And I really don't think Rangers can get back into this. And I've just seen one of the comments there, someone saying, ouch. Yeah, that's almost the perfect word of describing it. And there is no way back for Rangers, in my opinion.
Yes, and also, Matthew, looking at the subs bench that you've got there for the Rangers have got, that we touched upon at the start of the game in this start of the programme, when we're looking through the team news, when I read out the team news. Which one of those on the bench would you say would be the best one to try and get, let's say, a consolation goal for Rangers in the second half?
To get a consolation goal, I would probably go for either Alex Lowry, the young 18-year-old, or even Fashion Sakala, who can offer that pace to get in behind the defences. But if I'm completely honest, we're really missing Alfredo Morelos. He is our talisman. He is the key player in this Rangers team. However, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst needs to have a serious talk with that team, because if they continue playing the way they have that first half, this could be 6 or 7.
Yes, absolutely. We've got just had another comment in from Loki Sadler, who says need to pull their socks up this half in regards to what Rangers need to do in the second period. Celtic are doing absolutely fantastic at this moment in time. Sorry to say that, but if it wasn't for McGregor making, at least from what I've noted myself, 4 excellent saves to keep Celtic out, the scoreline could be a lot worse than what it already is. And I know we were speaking off air earlier on this evening, and you said probably the man of the match you had one in your mind already, who was the man of the match of the weekend in Joe Aribo, and he's not really going to the game much in that first half. And do you think Celtic have targeted him as the best player for Rangers and the Rangers' main out threat in that first half?
I wouldn't say that Celtic have targeted Joe Aribo individually. I would say Rangers have targeted the weakness of the Rangers' defence. I mean, Connor Goldson and Calvin Bassey have been really, really poor this evening, and normally they'd be key. So I don't think they're targeting Joe Aribo individually.
Yes, it'd be very interesting to see what Rangers do in this second half, and see whether Giovanni Van Bronckhorst can be the first Rangers boss to win an Old Firm derby. None of the other previous 3 have done it in charge of Rangers. So, looking ahead to the second half then, and the Rangers new boy Aaron Ramsey is in the stands this evening, and one man who I saw in the stands ahead of kick-off will be loving this scoreline at this moment in time is pop icon, or music icon should I say, and Celtic fan Rod Stewart. Saw him in just before kick-off on the monitor here in our studio, in my Yorkshire-based studio, and for the TC Hub. And do you think someone like Aaron Ramsey would make a difference to the way Rangers have played in that first half? Do you think if he were playing, it would have caused quite a few problems for Celtic in that first half, Matthew?
It's hard to say because we all know what Aaron Ramsey is capable of, but he needs the players around him. And if Aaron Ramsey was playing tonight, I really don't think it would have changed much because none of the players has turned up. And for a game of this magnitude, the fact they haven't turned up, it's embarrassing. It's a letdown to all the supporters. And Aaron Ramsey must be looking at himself thinking, what have I done?
Yes, in a photo that I saw of Aaron Ramsey just before we head back to the commentary team for the second half, it does look like he's sat there thinking, have I made the right choice? Have I decided to go to the right side of Glasgow? We'll wait and see if that is the case. With the players almost ready for the second half, it's time for me to hand back over to your match commentary team of Matthew McCallum. And first of all, let's hand back over to your match commentary team, Matthew McCallum, alongside Mike Ornament. Mike.
Thank you, Russ. So it looks like Rangers are going to get some substitutes on in the second half. I think Fashion Sakala is one that's definitely coming on at the break. I will confirm in a moment if there's going to be any more, and also who he's going to replace as well there. But in fact, they've gone 3 substitutes there. Jack, Sakala and Balogun on for Kamara, Diallo and Barisic. So very bold, and to be fair, you called it being quite a lot done by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst at half-time there, Matt, and proved right as well there. Yes,
that's right. I called the substitutes, and I got the substitutes correct as well, I believe. Just not the people coming off. I'm a bit surprised Diallo's come off because I reckon he could potentially still offer something with his pace. But I'm happy with the changes, and I hope it makes a difference. I really do.
It's going to be interesting to see, with what happens here now with the start of the second half. We're back underway now as well, and Tete there in possession gets it back for Celtic, and good defending there from Tavernier. I think that was, who just wins the throw as well off of Tete there, and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has decided to go very bold in the second half, and why not? You've got nothing to lose when you're 3-0 down, have you?
Well, exactly that. And I've actually got a question for you, Mike. I've just noticed it in the comments there. What's your score prediction for the second half after that shambolic first half by Rangers?
It's an interesting one. I think Celtic, were very, very strong in that first half, and Rangers, very lackluster and really didn't create an awful lot, and need to do better in the second half. So, I think that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst with these substitutes can certainly look to make something happen. I think Celtic are going to go on and win this game now. So, I don't know. I'm going to plump for a 4-1 Celtic win now.
A 4-1 Celtic win even. I'm a bit scared to say a score prediction for the second half, given I'm a Rangers supporter. However,
are you sure you're a Rangers supporter? We couldn't have told from that first half.
I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. I'm trying to. However,
Sakala's in possession here for Rangers in the box as well. And what can he do here? He wins a corner. Good play there from the substitute. In fact, it's gone for a goal kick. I thought that was a corner originally.
That should be a corner.
It looked like it was to me.
I don't know what the referee's playing at there. However, my score prediction for the second half and full time is 5-2 Celtic.
At least we'll have some goals anyway.
Oh, I really hope so. I really hope so. I really hope Rangers get back into this match before Celtic score again.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they get it back to 3-2. What happens there if Celtic start to crumble a bit under pressure? Yeah.
Well, exactly that. Celtic's defense isn't as good, or it's on paper it's not as good as Rangers' defense, but in actual real time, Rangers' defense is Sunday League standard at the moment.
And at the minute, it's only Alan McGregor that's keeping this from being any more than 3-0 with the 4 saves that he made in the first half. And it could easily have been 6 or 7, really, with the chances that Celtic had.
Exactly that. And that's why, despite his mistakes at the weekend, Alan McGregor is crucial in goals for Rangers because he's capable of those big saves, and he's kept Rangers in matches for so many years. It's the players in front of them that are at fault.
There's a chance here for Hatese. It's given away, and Goldson does well there, and Celtic get it back through. I'm not too sure who that was, but it's no one with the defender staff out anyway. And then Cameron Carter-Vickers, and then into the masked man of McGregor, the captain, who's on a booking, of course, remember as well. And now out to, that's whips in, and it's looking for Giacomakis, I think that was. And it's good defending from, I think that's Bassi there, was it? Or Rebo?
That looks like it's Calvin Bassi.
That's Calvin Bassi that time. Yeah.
It's very hard to tell the players, isn't it?
It can be, yeah. It doesn't help that it's now got a bit misty as well.
Oh, it looks like the Celtic fans had a bit of pyro, and you know what they say, no pyro, no party.
Yes, yeah. Well, they're certainly partying at the moment anyway, that's for sure. Top of the league, and I'm sure they're loving that.
I mean, who can blame them? They're rightly so. They should be partying, rightly so.
It's Tavernier back to Goldson, and he goes back to Alan McGregor there. In his orange kit there. Whacks that one looking for is that a rebound? It's gone out of play for a Celtic throw there. In fact, was that a rebound? Was that yeah, I'm not sure.
No, that's Fashion Sakala.
Fashion Sakala that time. See, they all look similar. A lot of them. They're difficult to tell their numbers.
That's right. It's
out to the right-hand side now, and I think is that a Barber for Celtic? I think it might be the scorer of the third there. He's going to get a shot off, and it's what's his name? Giacomakis. Can't even pronounce his name. It's one of those ones. Can we just shorten him? Can we just call him Gio?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Just go for Gio.
But nice opportunity here for Celtic to get it out wide. So Tete on to the number 17, Neves. And he gets it back. No, it's good defending that time from Tavernier.
That's Jota, is it? Number 17, Jota?
Yeah, Neves Felipe, which is Jota. Yeah.
Yeah, on loan from Benfica. I think Celtic are looking to sign him permanently.
It looks like he's not been involved loads in this game so far, but if they can get him involved in the second half, it'd be interesting to see what he's about. Kind of caliber of player that he is.
Very much so, and I've actually seen him play for Benfica against Rangers last season in the Europa League.
Okay.
And Rangers beat and drew Benfica, so he's got a bit of talent about him, but I don't think he's a world beater.
That's anything at the moment for Rangers. I would be a better bet than what they've had so far. So I'm sure he'd walk into this Rangers team so far.
Exactly, yes, and the way Celtic has started this second half,
it looks like they're not letting up on it. They want to get this fourth and get the game completely sealed up.
They're going for humiliation.
Here's Kmart Roof now, and he's just kicked the floor down. It's given away to the on-running. Was that O'Reilly? Was it? I'm not too sure, but it's going to be whipped in and good defending from the substitute Balogun that time.
I would have loved to be a fly in the wall in the Rangers dressing room at halftime.
That's going to be a free kick there, is it? Against was that Calvin Bassi there? I think he's just caught his man, and a yellow card for him as well.
That's soft. That's very soft.
Let's have a look there. It was a good little bit of feet originally, good little back heel, and Calvin Bassey just caught wrong-sided really there.
Caught wrong-sided, but the player went down too easily. I mean, I've mentioned it a few times in the first half, but it's a contact sport. You've got to expect a wee shove here, a wee shove there.
That's right, and it's it's one of those ones that you don't want to take that away from the game. And of course, that's why in Scotland it's nice that you haven't got VAR. But then at times when you see potential penalties, like in the first half, then it's sometimes might still be needed as well. Although it's nice to a bit refreshing that we haven't got it compared to over in here in England when we get it on a weekly basis and it's all it talks about.
Well, definitely. I do welcome the introduction of VAR in Scotland. I saw something the other day on social media that out of the top 12 countries in Europe, Scotland's the only one without VAR.
It did surprise me when I saw it. When I was going through the officials, I was like, I even had to confirm it with Russ, the producer. I had to just make sure there wasn't no VAR over in the Scottish League because it's an interesting one. As you say, every other league has got it, or main league has got it.
Yes, that's right. Every important league. I know the Scottish league's quite often.
A shot, a goal. Oh, that's a bit better there from Scott Arfield, edge of the box. Just drilled that one. It was a bit high and not troubling Joe Hart in the Celtic goal. It was Tavernier on the right-hand side. Just plays it across and there's a shooting opportunity. And I think it goes back to what you said earlier. If you get an opportunity on that kind of position, then why not have a shot?
Exactly. You've got to take the chance. I mean, you're 3-0 down, and we've seen over the years how many shots have been scored from outside the box by just the keeper just being a fraction off his line. And I'll take you back to Kemar Roof in the Europa League against Royal Antwerp. I think it was Royal Antwerp in the Europa League where he scored from his own half.
Yes, I remember the goal. It was an absolute different class finish. Yeah,
exactly. Even just if you see the keeper off his line, even slightly, take that risk. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
That's right. If you're going to miss, then you might as well,
do it in style.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's probably one way of looking at it. Yeah, just have a go, and then if you score, then it looks fantastic. If you miss, you don't expect to score anyway.
Exactly. You've got to take the chance, and at the moment, going the way this first half is going. The second half, even, sorry.
It's a chance. Fashion Takala there just gone down, and the referee's pointed for a goal kick. And again, that was a good play from Rangers there. Takala, did he go down a little bit easy? Let's have a look. It was, that would have been a harsh penalty there. But I think it was the defender there, Taylor. Good defender, really, from him, yeah.
Yeah, very good defending there, and that would have been a harsh penalty compared to the two in the first half. However, I have seen them given. But I stand by that. That's not a penalty.
And it looks like Calvin Bassey's now gone out to his favoured left back position with the substitutions that have been made at half time as well. I just spotted that.
Yes, that's right. I'm just looking to see what formation Rangers are now playing because it looks like Barisic might have gone further up the pitch.
Barisic went off, didn't he, at half time? So.
Oh yes, he did, didn't he?
So that's why Bassey's gone to left back, and then Balogun's obviously coming where Bassey started at centre back.
Which is actually a wise move by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. I actually missed Barisic coming off at halftime, so I appreciate that.
No, that's all right, man.
Yeah, Bassey will look more comfortable in left back, and Barisic. He had a stinker of the first half, but then
that third goal was, he's certainly to blame. It's his fault for the third goal and just allowing Abada to come in and just score as easily as he did. Yeah,
that's right. But then, yes, Barisic was at fault for that. However, what was the other defenders doing?
With Connor Golson, etc.
Yeah. That's where the teamwork comes in. You've got to help your fellow players. You've got to close them down and tap them.
And if you spot that someone, one of your centre-back partners or your defensive partners are out of position, then, take it upon yourself to go and be the one that fills in, yeah.
Exactly that. You see all the top teams doing that. You see Paris Saint-Germain doing it, Barcelona doing it, Real Madrid, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal. Why can't... Even Celtic are doing it. They're covering when there's a bit of space.
That's right. And you can see even now it's just a chance here for Rangers to get the ball forward. But Celtic are defending with, 2 banks of 4 or, there's plenty behind the ball anyway.
That's right. There's plenty behind the ball, which is going to be difficult for Rangers to break through.
That's right. It's difficult to break down. And Celtic here just able to get the ball and win it back as well at their leisure, really, at the moment.
Well, that's it. It's Celtic are almost playing as if they're out for us, or they're out doing a training session. It's been that easy for them.
There was a foul there was it the foul given against Scott Arfield, or was it given against Giacomakis there? It's actually gone in favour of the Rangers man.
Oh, I actually thought it was against Scott Arfield there, so that's a pleasant
It did
surprise.
look like that there was the 2 there. It looked like there was 2 fouls in one there, and it looked like it was Scott Arfield first, and then it was Scott Arfield that was, fouled Giacomakis after, but got away with, the foul, and then wins the free kick. So,
well, that's it. One thing I've noticed about the first half and second half is I believe I mentioned it. The trying to walk it into the back of the net.
There's a chance here for, is it Ryan Jack here? He's going to get a shot. Is he? No good defending. But yeah, carry on.
I've noticed Rangers are still trying to walk it into the back of the net. They've had one chance from outside the box, and that was Scott Arfield's shot moments ago.
Just a minute ago, yeah.
Yeah, and that's... I don't understand what's going wrong for Rangers tonight.
That's a good ball out to Ryan Kent, though. He's in a bit of space here as well. Is he going to get an opportunity to have a shot, or is he going to play in a teammate? He plays it back to Aribo, gives it back to Kent once more. Looks up, tries to get a cross in, and it goes behind Fashion Sakala and behind there. But a little bit better from Rangers in that passage of play there.
Yes, a little bit better, but why is Ryan Kent, when he's played the ball there, he's got no one in front of him? Why is he not running to the byline and crossing it in front of goal?
Yeah, see, he's trying to find Kmart Roof, and Kmart Roof there just didn't really want to take a gamble or take a chance on it, did he?
No, but that's when you're 3-0 down, you have to take these risks.
Yeah,
you're not going to get back into the game by playing tiki-taka.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. There's a couple of subs here for Celtic in a minute as well. Just looks like they're going to get in 2 subs ready there.
It
we'll
looks
confirm
like
who that's going to be coming on and who's going to go off in a moment. I think one of them is injured as well, so it might be him that comes off.
Yes, that's right. It looks like another hamstring injury for Celtic. Celtic have struggled a lot this season with hamstring injuries.
It's one of the men who's actually been playing very, very well. In fact, is that
Albada?
Number 17. No, that's Neves Felipe, or the other name that he's known under, Yotto as well.
Oh, okay.
So we might not get to see much of him, which is going to be a bit of a shame.
So that's Albada that's injured.
Oh, is it so it's Albada, the scorer of the 3rd goal?
That's correct. Yeah. So that's actually good news for Rangers. However, I'm still not convinced that Rangers can get back into this match.
Let's just gonna look at these 2 subs now. And Giacomakis and Abada are both coming off for Maeda and Forrest. So thankfully the striker's going off, so I don't have to pronounce his name anymore. I hope I've not butchered it too badly. I thought I'd done okay with his name, to be fair, as difficult as it is.
I think you're doing very well with your pronunciations.
Cheers, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. But 2 men coming off there in Giacomakis and Abada. Forrest and Maeda coming on. You mentioned Maeda earlier, but coming back from international, so he's got around about half an hour of this game now.
That's right, and like I said to you earlier, would he have wanted to start this match as the manager basically not giving him a decision? Because it's a sort of match that everyone wants to play in, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. If you're one of the ones that are left out of this squad, then you're certainly going to be kicking yourself at not being involved. If you're the substitute that they bring along sometimes as extra cover, but don't quite make the match day squad, you're sitting there frustrated, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I know when you're on international duty, it's a lot of traveling, and it's an honor to represent your country.
Yeah.
However, it's one of the biggest games in your season's
That's
calendar.
a good effort there from Ryan. Sorry, that was Ryan Kent, wasn't it? And it's a good hand from Joe Hart. Pretty comfortable from the ex-Manchester City keeper, but he's not had a lot to do, and I'm sure he's probably just quite grateful to actually touch the ball in the second half at the moment.
I think he needed that save because how many times did he touch the ball in the first half? I don't recall him touching
next
it
to
once.
Nothing really. No, there's no real clear-cut chances for Rangers in that first half.
Exactly. I'd love to see the stats from the first half just to see.
I'll have a little look, see if I can find out what the stats are at this present moment in time, because I know Rangers, that might have even been their first shot on target. You don't really know, to be fair. They haven't had many.
So I've got the first half stats up here, Mike, and the first half stats were for possession. Celtic had 53% possession to Rangers 47%.
Okay.
But attempts on goal, Celtic had 9 shots on goal, 7 of them on target, and scored 3.
Yeah, which is a good, very good,
a good ratio.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Compared to Rangers,
here, it's a good corner, but it's just seen behind there from Tavernier, I think that was.
Compared to Rangers, 2 shots and 1 on target.
Yeah, see, it's a big difference, as you can kind of probably expect with the way that the game's going so far with the score on that as well. That Celtic have very much dominated this game and continuing to do so at the moment.
They really have.
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst just trying to get a little bit of encouragement into his troops there.
He's not doing enough for my liking. Yes, I might be being a bit too critical of him at this moment in time. However, I believe, again, I mentioned it in the first half, I personally would be on the touchline shouting and bawling at my players.
He doesn't look like he's that kind of, obviously, and Postecoglou there is quite a calm and composed man. It looks like Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is very sort of, I wouldn't say composed as such, but very, he's not an animated kind of person, is he?
He's not, but I think he needs to be, especially in a situation like this, because the calmer you are on the touchline, the more complacent your players will get, in my opinion.
No, it's a very good point. Very fair way of looking at it, yeah.
And if you go back to the Graham Souness era, the Walter Smith era, that's the sort of manager you want. You want them shouting and bawling because they know what's at stake. They know what it's about. And
that's why I'm a bit surprised with obviously Giovanni Van Bronckhorst having played for Rangers and playing in the derby in the early 2000s, that he's sort of seems that far detached from it. It's very baffling, really.
Yeah, it's baffling and actually quite concerning how out of touch Giovanni Van Bronckhorst actually is. Yes, he's a Rangers legend as a player, but as a manager, if I remember correctly, you mentioned
there's a chance here. Oh, and that's offside was that, but looked like Rangers were trying to play a little bit through in the middle, trying to get the ball to Kmart Roof there, and just tried to find Sakala, who was offside. But again, Rangers trying to make something happen, but it's easy for Celtic even defensively that time around. Rangers not really getting too many opportunities in the final third.
Well, that's right, and like I was saying, you mentioned in the pre-match show, and I think during commentary in the first half, that no Rangers manager has won their first Old Firm game. Is that
yes,
correct?
That's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's an astonishing stat, and that's quite a worrying stat as well.
Oh, that's a late challenge. I don't know whether it was Russ that actually mentioned that. I don't know whether it was the first game in Old Firm, or it might actually be their first game in charge as manager, I believe. I'm not too sure, but anyway, I think it's. I think it was the Old Firm game as well, which you mentioned. So yeah, it is a very worrying stat for Rangers fans. That is the case. Yeah,
That is, yes, and yeah, I really don't want to say this, but going by this performance tonight, Rangers will not retain the league title.
it's quite an interesting one there, and of course, this would be their first defeat since August, as well, as we said about when they lost 1-0 to Dundee. And of course, Celtic have already lost 3 games this season, and this would be Rangers' first defeat, and it would be Celtic overtaking them at the top of the division as well, top of the table.
Yes, that's right, which is a major blow. However, you could look at it this way: Rangers winning and Celtic going top, it might give them that encouragement they need, and it's a proper title race. However, after going unbeaten in the season last season, this is very worrying. I just noticed that the referee's gone off to speak to what looked like a safety steward there.
One of the stewards, and then they pointed to obviously the Celtic fans in the stadium. Obviously, they've got it looks like phone lights or their phone cameras on. Maybe it's to do with that. I don't really know.
So the phone lights are on because in the 67th minute of a game, the Celtic fans paid tribute to the Lisbon Lions who won the European Cup in 1967.
Okay,
so
that's excellent to hear that they remember that. Yeah.
So that's what the phone cameras and stuff is about. I don't know if there was maybe a bit of pyro or something in the
alongside it. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe from earlier on in what happened. Obviously, the start of the second half as well with the Celtic fans. Maybe at half time, maybe they were. I'm not too sure really, but it's baffling. It doesn't matter too much anyway. It's nothing too dangerous or too worrying or anything like that. So we don't have to worry too much about it. It's exactly. McGregor now trying to play this one forward, looking for the on-run in. I think that's was that Forrest that time? I think it was.
I think you're right. Yes, I believe it was James Forrest.
And he just couldn't quite get on the end of it. And Rangers have it back now. About 20 minutes or so to go, and Celtic still cruising in this game 3-0 with Atete getting 2 goals and an assist for Abada as well, who's since been substituted, of course. The man that was actually substituted for James Forrest. And Rangers, of course, brought on 3 subs at half-time. And so 2 more remaining for them if they want to go to their bench again in the closing stages. And still 3 more potential subs for Celtic. And I wonder whether we'll see any of the younger men, maybe the likes of Duke, who's on the subs bench for Celtic as well, maybe for the final 10 or so minutes.
Well, that's right, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone like that, or even I wouldn't be surprised if Sorrow comes on.
It's a shot. Oh, it's a claim there for a penalty, but the referee's not going to give anything there. Although Scott Arfield's shouting to him to say, can you at least take a second look at that or speak to your assistants about that one? But I don't really know. That would have been, I think it was off his midriff or his chest, more than his arm, yeah.
Yeah, I think that came off his thigh personally. I don't think that was handball.
It's a good ball through to Joe Aribo. He's going to get a chance here. Is he? Good defending there from, I think that's the centre-back of Starfelt, and to play as well. Hooks it clear, looking for the man of the moment as well, Atete, but he loses out. And it's with Ryan Jack now, who plays it out wide to Carlo. Great feet from Jack there. That's a lovely back heel to find Tavernier, and it's a chance here for Rangers, but just defended well by Juranovic was that, and then Joe Hart just smashes it forward into the Rangers half. But that was a lovely bit of play there from Ryan Jack, and a pretty neat back heel actually as well.
Yes, that's right. That's a brilliant bit of play by Ryan Jack, and that's exactly what Ryan Jack's capable of as well. He's almost crucial in our midfields.
Oh, I want to have a look at this again. It's for the one on Juranovic here, the handball.
I reckon Arfield's got a point with that one. I haven't seen the replay.
Just saw the replay. Potentially there could have been something in that. As Celtic are getting another sub ready now, and it is.
Is it Sorrow coming on?
No, it's James McCarthy coming on for the man at the moment, Hatete. So James McCarthy comes on a bit more defensive minded.
That's a very interesting substitution by Ange Postecoglou because, like you just mentioned, that's a very defense-minded substitution, which means Postecoglou's worried about how much Rangers have come back into this game. He's shoring up that defense, but even with that,
he can get the next goal for sure.
I don't think Rangers will get that next goal. Obviously, it would be great if he could, and potentially with 15, 20 minutes to go, potentially pull it back to say a 3-3 draw.
Chance is going to be a shot. It is, and was that Arfield there? Got that one all wrong.
Yeah, got that horrifically wrong. However, Rangers are coming back into this, and you never know. With about 15 minutes left, they could snatch a goal, and the Celtic defence could start to crumble, but I doubt it'll happen.
And it's just an interesting point that you've made there, but Rangers coming back into it because they have actually looked a lot better in the second half. Of course, keeping the score just to 3-0 at the moment as well, not conceding any more goals as well, on top of what they've already conceded in the first half, and they've looked, a bit more defensive mind. Well, not defensive minded, but better defensively and actually attacking better in the second half as well. I should say. Sorry.
Yes, that's right. Rangers have been so much better this second half, and which makes me wonder, why is it taking
like 70 minutes or 60, 70 minutes till,
Yeah, it should have started like this, and maybe we wouldn't be 3-0 down, but that's football, isn't it? It's so unpredictable.
And I suppose once you've got somebody like Hatete who Celtic have got, and he's on form, and this is only, I think, his fourth start for Celtic as well today, and he's already got himself 2 goals and an assist today there, and he's looked very, very bright. So the fact he's come off, I'm sure, will play a part in this final 15 minutes now, and it might even give Rangers a bit of confidence if they do get the next goal, knowing that the star man for Celtic on the night is no longer going to play a part in this game now.
Well, that's right, and we all know that Joe Hart's prone to the odd howler or two.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in his days in England, and even when he played for England as well in the internationals, he has done. Yeah,
that's it. And Rangers really need to capitalise on that and really start pushing that Celtic defensive back line.
That's a sloppy ball down. They got a second bite. The cherry did the Celtic man. I think it was Carter Vickers there. I'm not too sure. It was Stafford, one of the defenders anyway. Just got away with it the second time and were able to get it clear. And there's a booking here for who was that? That is Bannigan. Is that Leon Bannigan there?
He's lucky not to see red for that challenge.
That's a very late one. Is that on James Forrest? Was that? Let's see.
Yeah, that's on James Forrest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a very late challenge. Yeah.
He's lucky to escape red for that. High feet, studs showing. By the letter of the law, that's a red card, so he's got away with that one.
It's a very dramatic game. I know obviously the score is in favour of Celtic 3-0 at the moment, but it's not had any lack of controversy in this match anyway, which is always good to have a bit of drama in these derby games.
Exactly. Oh well. It's not just the derby days in Scotland that have the drama and the controversial decisions. I'm just waiting for the 3 magic words of penalty to Rangers.
I'll have to wait and see. Oh, that's a late one as well. That was who was at that time? One of the substitutes again, was it? Was that Maeda?
That's
a late one again.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Again, how's that not a booking?
He's got away with that one for sure, especially when you look at Bannigan's there. He's got himself a yellow, and Maeda there just gets away completely scot-free, which is, I don't know whether that's, anything to do with the fact it's a home game for Celtic in front of their own fans, because sometimes that does come into play, even though it really shouldn't. It can well do.
Yes, exactly. You're spot on there, and I'll bring it back to Leon Balogun getting booked, narrowly avoiding a red card, in my opinion, for something very similar, and Maeda not getting even a yellow card for that.
It's,
Both are
very
fresh
similar
off the
kind
bench.
very similar kind of challenges really as well. I thought, yeah.
I don't want to criticize the officials too much, but if you're going to book one player for a similar challenge, you've got to book the other one for doing something very similar as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. Here's Ryan Jack now as he shoved to the floor there. He was as well. So free kick here for Rangers now. It wasn't Ryan Jack, but it was Kent, was it that time? Ryan Kent,
yeah, that was indeed.
Just shoves to the floor there, and it's a free kick here for Rangers now. It's taken quickly as well, and it's Ryan Jack that time did have possession. He's got it back as well now. Just playing it around here out wide. Of course, you're listening to the commentary hub as well, and you can check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch as well. We'll give you all those details shortly once we have this next corner, which is just going to go in favour of Rangers there. And it's decent ball in, but headed clear from, I think that's Carter Vickers that time, the on loan defender there.
Yes, Cameron Carter Vickers, the American international, clearing it away there. He's been a terrific signing for Celtic this season.
He's obviously on loan from Tottenham, isn't he, in England as well?
Yes, he sure is, and I believe Celtic are...
Oh, what an effort that was. Wow, I'm not too sure who that was, but that was save from Joe Hart. I don't know whether he got a fingertip to that or not.
That was Ryan Jack with a thundering strike.
Thunderous long-range effort there. I don't know if Joe Hart got a save there, if he got a touch to it, because if he did, that's a fantastic save.
I think he got the fingertips on it, but I'm going to say that Ryan Jack just rattled the crossbar with a shot from, 40 yards out?
45 yards out, and almost
we need more of that.
Inches away there from the Rangers midfielder, yeah.
And that could have changed everything with roughly 10 minutes to go or so. So
Rangers getting a little bit into the game now and fouled as well. So Celtic just trying to stop the play a little bit, kind of stop Rangers from getting too much momentum now.
Yes, and I would love to see a replay of that shot by Ryan Jack, but I don't think they're going to show us one, Mike.
I want to see if it was a save. I want to see if he got fingertips to it, because if he did, that was an absolutely brilliant save.
A world-class save if he did get fingertips to it.
And here's Sakala to Goldson, sorry, and now that's Ryan Kent there. He's been forced to go back into centre of midfield. Finds Basti there, who goes back to Balogun. And here is that man at the moment, Ryan Jack, trying to find the long ball for Kemar Roof there. And it's with Ryan Kent and then Kemar Roof once more. There's going to be another effort, is it? At a goal here now from Aribo. No, it's good defending that time from the Celtic men on the edge of the box. And it's now a bit of a run there from, that was Maeda, wasn't it? And it's seen back to the goalkeeper, McGregor. But what were you going to say there regarding the point you were just about to make?
I've just been made aware that Ryan Jack, every time Ryan Jack plays or starts a match for Rangers, we tend not to concede a goal, which
we still haven't conceded since he's been on the pitch yet.
Which is actually quite a major stat, because it just shows how weak Rangers are defensively, that we rely on a defensive midfielder to keep clean sheets. And
he has changed the game since he's come on in Rangers' favour as well. He had that chance and he was in possession there just a moment ago, but good defending from, I think that was Carter Vickers possibly, but it looks like, potentially Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, if he started him, might have had a bit of a different outcome, because he has looked very bright in the second half, which Rangers can certainly take a lot from.
Yes, exactly that. And in my opinion, Ryan Jack needs to start every game, because it's clear that he's changed the game for Rangers. I mean, brings back to my point in the first half. If you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to start.
No, that's completely right. And he's, what I like about Ryan Jack in this half as well, he's getting the ball to feet and He's looking up, and then if he can't find the man, then he'll take a touch and then go side or go backwards. And he's looking to try and get the ball moving forward as much as he can, though, which I like. And then obviously taking that shot as well, bit of a risk. And he's actually looked pretty good with his feet as well. Some nice touches like back heels and things like that too. A bit of skill.
Yes, Ryan Jack is a crucial player. He, just like you said, he picks his head up, looks for that pass, looks to see where people are moving, and there was none of that in the first half. A wee fun fact for you: Ryan Jack's first ever goal for Rangers came against Celtic in a 1-0 win at Ibrox, where he nutmegged Scott Brown.
Oh, lovely! That's to nutmeg somebody of Scott Brown's quality is it shows the kind of player that he is. It shows he's very, very talented and top quality player.
Exactly, yes, and Ryan Jack doesn't get the recognition he deserves, and it's the same in the Scottish national team. Every time Ryan Jack plays, Scotland tend to either win or draw. Without him in that team, Scotland are very, very poor.
He's only relatively young as well. In fact, he's only 29 years old, so still got to be quite a while in him yet. And they're going to show this effort now. I think he has got a glove for that as well. Let's see.
No, he's no touch on that. That's just wrapped with the crossbar.
That's just smashed the bar. It did look like he got a glove on it, or potentially got a glove on it, but inches away there, Ryan Jack, a few minutes ago from making that 3-1 and giving Celtic something to think about in terms of an opportunity for Rangers maybe to get back into this game as well.
That shot deserved a goal.
It really did. It was an absolutely different class effort. Yeah.
That's something Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo would be
There's a chance
proud
here
of.
for the number 17, Neves Felipe or Jota there. It's good defending from Goldson. Coming up to 6 minutes remaining, and Celtic are probably going to see this one through relatively comfortably. But what I was saying before, it looks like for player of the match. I'll come to you in that in a moment, but we're probably more than likely going to agree on who's going to get it today, I think.
I actually think I've got a man of the match for the first half and second half.
Okay, it's nice to have that. Okay.
Yeah,
so, I'll come to you. We've got this corner, so just see what happens from this corner, and I'll come to you after this. I think once we find out what happens here. It's going to be whipped in, is it, or it's going to be played short? Let's have a look here. It's got a good ball in, and it's good defending there from. There's an opportunity there for McGregor, and now who's that there? Is that Felipe? I'm not too sure, but anyway, it's with the substitute. Is that Forrest? And he's fouled Basti there, is he? And a bit of melee there, and a free kick to Celtic anyway. I think there was the two Nigerians, Aribo and Basti, was it there?
That is the two Nigerians. You're spot on with that, and I don't know what James Forrest is complaining about. He's barely even touched, where he's claiming he got injured.
No, he's up to his feet and absolutely fine to carry on.
Yeah, he's trying to do a bit of time wasting, the classic pull a hamstring or fake pull a hamstring.
There's a chance here for O'Reilly to whip this one in, the former MK Dons man, of course, and it's taken a touch over the top there from McGregor to push that one over the top for a corner. That's
a big save by Alan McGregor. That looked like it was looping in at the far.
It was dipping. Back. No, it was certainly dipping. Yeah, it was a very good save. And again, we can come to Alan McGregor for how he's played in this game. He's looked very, very lively with some of the stops that he's made. He made sort of 4 in the first half. I think he's made 1 or 2 in this second as well.
Yeah, well, I think I referred to it in the first half. McGregor is a big game player. He's kept Rangers in so many matches and saved them so many times that
Taylor's going to make way. I think Celtic are actually going to get 4 subs ready here for the final 4 minutes. I think they're going to use all the rest of their subs anyway now, by the looks of it, I think.
So if my maths are right, that's another 2 substitutes they're allowed.
Let's have a look. I know they're bringing on. Well, Taylor's coming off anyway. I don't know if was that because there might be some of the players that have come off earlier on in the game. I don't know. They were sitting behind him, maybe. Yeah, but it's or are they making another sub there as well? Anyway, 2 player of the matches. First half and second half. Let's go first half first then.
So first half will have to be the goal scorer of the 2 goals, Rio Hatate.
Yeah, you got the assist obviously as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the second half, it's got to be Ryan Jack. But overall, Hatate gets my man of the match for the full game.
Yeah, that's very, very fair. And unbiased as well, which is nice.
Yes, yeah, I've got to try my best. Even though it pains me to say it, I've got to try my best.
Yeah, you've done very, very well. Here's the other substitution as well, which O'Reilly's coming off there and Sorrow's coming on. Don't come on for Yotto as well.
That's an interesting substitution by Postecoglou.
It is, yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how many minutes are added on to this match, given that Celtic have used all 5 substitutes and there's been a few stoppages.
Yeah, there could potentially be, 5 minutes of added time, maybe at the end of this game, maybe, yeah.
Potentially 5 minutes. I would say more realistically, we're maybe looking at 3 or 4 minutes added on.
Yeah, very possible, yeah.
So it's also the sort of game where you'd be quite happy for 10, 15 minutes added on if you're a Celtic fan.
And if you're a Rangers fan, you'll probably be quite happy if you get 10 or 15 seconds.
As a Rangers fan, I'd be quite happy if the match ended right now.
A minute and a half early, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
But no, Celtic have certainly done very, very well within this game, and have actually deserved this win as well. No doubt. If you wanted to check us out on social media, by the way, it's the Commentary Hub on Facebook, facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. And also on Twitter, we've got at Commentary Live 1 as well, which is what I was going to mention earlier on, because we've got some action across the rest of the week as well, including myself back on Friday for Manchester United and Middlesbrough alongside Luke Turton, as we bring you Manchester United's FA Cup tie there. And then on Saturday, we've got Kidderminster against West Ham, the Premier League side against the non-league side there, which can be a tasty FA Cup tie with Nicholas and myself. And we've also got Russ doing an FA Cup game on Sunday. We've got JB doing a game as well. And we've got a lot of the FA Cup games, in fact, being covered over this weekend. Chris Whiteman and Trevor Sports are back for their return as well. So lots to put your ears to across the weekend.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great weekend of football in the Commentary Hub with all the FA Cup games, and hopefully there's a fair few goals in an action-packed game like this evening's.
I'd love it if it was an upset as well. I'd absolutely love Kidderminster to beat West Ham. That would just be that'd be the magic of the FA Cup for you.
That would be indeed. We need some cup sets this weekend in the FA Cup, whether it's Kidderminster, whether it's
Plymouth Argyle against Chelsea. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, Chelsea have history of going out to lower division teams, haven't they?
Yeah, lost to Bradford a couple of years back, yeah.
Rangers fans will remember that one well because a certain Andrew Halliday scored in that game.
He did indeed, yes. Absolutely, yeah. And, of course, there's a few other games. Bournemouth are hosting Boreham Wood as well, so high-flying Bournemouth for the Championship. Got a tricky tie against the non-league Boreham Wood. And I was right with the 5 minutes of additional time as well, by the way. You
were, yes. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting closer to 3-4 minutes, but that's a good call. That's a very good call.
And it's just a ball there from Balogun looking for Tavernier. He's going to get a shot away. No good block there. And hook clear from, I think that was that Juranovic? In fact, was it
Greg Taylor?
No, Greg Taylor come off, didn't he?
No, he's still on the pitch there. He's struggling, but he's still on the pitch.
I thought they subbed him. Well, they were going to sub him, so maybe they changed that sub.
Yeah, maybe the injury's not as bad as first thought, but he's definitely struggling.
Yeah, it looks like he is. Maybe they're just going to give it the final few minutes and see what happens there. Scott Arfield just muscled off the ball there.
Yeah, Scott Arfield there made the wrong choice. He should have played the ball into Fashion Sakala and given the opportunity to play it across goal and hope that Roof can get a wee toe to it.
And of course, just having a look here at what's coming up for these two sides. Rangers and Celtic both play Sunday. Celtic in the early game at 1:30 against Motherwell. Rangers against Hearts at 4. It's going to be, of course, a big test now to see what Giovanni Van Bronckhorst can get out of his side on Sunday after this defeat, and whether Celtic can continue their form from this game into their next one as well against obviously Motherwell.
Yeah, Sunday's going to be a very tough match for Rangers. Hearts are flying high. They've got Andrew Halliday, Barry Mackay, who is famous for that wonder goal in the Scottish Cup semi-final back in 2016 against Celtic.
Moves. I'm sure you'll probably see the debut of Aaron Ramsey in that one, which I'm sure will be nice for a bit of media attention.
Yes, definitely. It might take the focus off this defeat ever so slightly, but Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has a lot of work to do.
And of course, you mentioned earlier on about Alfredo Morelos as well, who is away with his national side. Yanis Hadji as well. When's he expected back?
So Yanis Hadji is out for the rest of the season after having knee surgery.
So that's another big miss then. Obviously, another really, really good player. And it's a massive miss there for Rangers. And, missed him today as well in this game.
Yeah, we've really missed Yanis Hadji and Alfredo Morelos today.
There's a chance there, and it's over the top from Golson. It doesn't even look like Rangers are going to get themselves a consolation at the moment. It's a good ball in, and Golson was up from the back, but just headed away and sort of wide of the goal there. It was Ryan Kent's ball in originally towards the defender up from the back, and in fact, it was just over the top of the bar rather than wide.
Rangers have been dreadful tonight, and Celtic 100% deserved their victory, and credit where credit's due. They've played us off the park, and I mentioned it moments ago, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has a lot of work to do on that training ground tomorrow morning.
And that's right. I think he'll be in first thing as well. Be no days off for the Rangers team after this. I don't know about Celtic, whether they'll get maybe a bit of recovery time tomorrow on the back of this performance, because they have looked very, very strong. And they've done all the hard work in the first half, and then second half kind of said to Rangers, we'll see what you can do, and we'll be able to stand up to it. And that's what they've done. They've stood up to it pretty comfortably, really, in the second half of Celtic.
Yes, Celtic started off the match thunderous, like a bull out of a cage, and they've capitalised on that. And I don't think any Rangers fan can complain about how dreadful we have been this evening.
No, and that's the full-time whistle there as well. The two managers have just shaken hands with each other, and Celtic go to the top of the SPL, overtaking their Glasgow rivals Rangers as well, with a fantastic 3-0 victory on home soil in front of their fans as well. Rio Matete with a brace, also Abada grabbing the third as well. Rangers very lacklustre, Celtic very, very good, and deservedly top of the league after this performance. Now, what can Giovanni Van Bronckhorst do in their next game at the weekend? How are they going to bounce back? Will we see Aaron Ramsey at the weekend as well? But tonight, Aaron Ramsey, no doubt, is going to be looking on at this one, thinking, has he made the right decision? Rod Stewart certainly made the right decision going along to this one, because you can see him there punching the air and, smiling ear to ear, as any Celtic fan, I'm sure, in that stadium is right now, and, listening in around the world as well. So they're the side that go to the top of the league, and it's them who put in a really strong performance, and Rangers, well, just weren't ready at the races this evening.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much there, Mike. And to Matthew, we'll be back with Matthew in a few moments' time for the thoughts on the game overall as we watched Celtic beat Rangers comfortably this evening. We'll be taking just a quick break, but when we return, we'll mention some of the other scores that's happened tonight and get the thoughts of Matthew McCallum on what has been a sorry day and a dismal day at the office for Rangers, but we're back in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of the Scottish Premiership clash between Celtic and Rangers in the Old Firm derby. And it was Celtic who ran out comfortable winners in the end by 3-0. Before we get the thoughts of Matthew McCallum this evening, let's run you through some of the other results and latest scores from all the other matches taking place this evening. Starting off in the African Cup of Nations, and Burkina Faso lost 3-1 to Senegal in the semi-final. Senegal will now play the winners of Cameroon or Egypt in Sunday's final, who will go through to that one. And we could potentially see the all Liverpool strikers affair if Mohamed Salah helps Egypt to the final of the African Cup of Nations. In the Championship this evening, Barnsley lost to Cardiff by 1-0 thanks to a second half strike from Ook Ispiezu, who joined Cardiff on deadline day from Middlesbrough, while Huddersfield Town beat 10-man Derby County by 2-0 thanks to second half goals from Dwayne Holmes, the former Huddersfield man, and Jordan Rhodes as well. Derby was down to 10 men after just 3 minutes when Richard Stearman was sent off for a bad challenge on Lewis O'Brien to receive a straight red card. So the Championship table, with what that result means, Barnsley remain bottom of the table after their defeat to Cardiff. Cardiff are now on to 29 points. Huddersfield, with their win over Derby, who remain in 23rd place, a point above Barnsley. Huddersfield are up to 5th above West Bromwich Albion on 48 points, just 10 points behind leaders Fulham or Carlos Corberán's Huddersfield Town. In the Professional Development League, Wigan Athletics under-23s beat Peterborough by 3-2. Well, in the Premier League Cup, Huddersfield Town's under-23s also got a win tonight. 2 wins for Huddersfield today. 7-23s beat Watford by 3-0. In the Liga Portugal, Benfica lost 2-1 to Gil Vicente, while Sporting Club de Portugal are beating Belenenses by 3-1. In the Scottish Premiership, in the game we covered this evening, Celtic beat Rangers by 3-0. So I have to keep reminding any Rangers fans out there listening this evening, but any Celtic fans out there listening, you won by 3-0, which means you're now top of the table by a point from Rangers, who dropped to second, Arsenal into third, Motherwell into fourth, Ibs into fifth, and Aberdeen into sixth. At the bottom of the table, Dundee are bottom on 18 points, level on points with St Johnstone. Ross County in 10th on 23. St Mirren is in 9th on 26. Livingston are in 8th on 26, while Dundee United are in 7th on 29 points. Aberdeen have also got 29 points. So the gap at the top of the SPL is just 1 point, as Celtic have overtook Rangers. In the South American World Cup qualifiers in the early hours of this morning, Brazil did very, very well to beat Paraguay by 4-0. Rafinha with one, Coutinho with another, Antony and Rodrigo on target for Brazil. Rafinha had a goal disallowed through VAR for an handball in the build-up to that goal on just 2 minutes, but he opened the score on 28 minutes. Gabriel Jesus of Manchester City also played a part for Brazil, and Peru drew 1-1 with Ecuador in the early hours of this morning as well. Also, in some other matches, in the Copa del Rey in Spain, Rayo Vallecano beat Mallorca by a goal to 0, while Valencia beat a leading Cadiz by 2-1. In a friendly international, Belize and Nicaragua drew by a goal 1-1. In that one, in a club friendly, latest score from the game which I mentioned, one of the games I mentioned earlier, a couple of games I mentioned earlier, Toronto FC beat Los Angeles FC by 2-1, while River Plate losing to Riverdale by a goal to 0 on 61 minutes in that one, and that's all the results and some latest scores from today so far. Another result to tell you about in the women's football, in the women's league, and Leeds United women have come from 2-0 down at half time away to Barnsley to win by 3-2. So there's a comprehensive roundup of the results tonight. And what a result for Leeds. Bridie Annan, the captain of Leeds United women, I believe she is, scored a free kick in the 86th minute to win it for Leeds United away at Barnsley this evening. Now let's go back to our main focus then, and the Scottish Premiership and the game which we covered this evening, and we'll go to that in a second. And we're fetching your co-commentator Matthew McCallum, and Matthew, is a very bad day at the office for Rangers, as I mentioned when I read out the scores in the end, and it was a bad day at the office as they lost by 3-0 this evening. And Matthew, what's your overall thoughts on the game? Obviously, as we could tell throughout the commentary, you're a Rangers fan, and I already knew that from speaking to you before you joined the channel. But what was your overall thoughts on the performance from Celtic this evening, who are now a point clear at the top of the table?
Celtic, quite plain and simply, outplayed Rangers. Rangers looked to me like they didn't have a game plan. They were lethargic. They didn't look like they could be bothered playing the match. I don't know what Giovanni Van Bronckhorst said to them before the match, but whatever he said to them was completely wrong, and Celtic deserve a credit tonight. They turned up, Rangers didn't. A lot of questions have to be asked about that team selection by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, especially with a fit Ryan Jack on the bench and a fit Leon Balogun on the bench. Why did those two players not start? Because they made a major difference in the second half. And Connor Goldson and Borna Barisic need to take a long, hard look at themselves after the defending for all three goals.
Yes, absolutely. The better second half performance from Rangers in the end compared to the first half as well. We'll fetch Mike in just a second, as I think he's got a question for you. But just before we go to Mike, obviously you mentioned there that Jack and Barisic made a difference at half time. Would you have started both of them in the first half in tonight's game, Matthew, or would you have? How many changes would you have made from the start of the game today? Would you have made those two changes?
Yes, I would have completely, and I believe I said during commentary, if you're fit enough for the bench, you're fit enough to start. And it's common knowledge that Ryan Jack is a key starter for Rangers. He's a key player. He's the heartbeat of that midfield. And in answer to your other question, the players I would have actually started from the bench this evening is Liam Balogun, Ryan Jack, Fashion Sakala, and the young teenager Alex Lowry. Why Giovanni didn't make all 5 substitutions, given that he could make all 5 substitutions, whether it's bringing Stephen Davis on to shore up at the midfield even more, Cedric Itten play 2 up front with Sakala and Kent on the wings. I don't understand what was going through Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's mind tonight. That was I think there's only one word to describe that performance, and that's shambolic.
Absolutely there, Matthew, absolutely there. And just before we do wrap up this evening, because we'll be wrapping up very, very shortly, as we've been on just over, coming up towards 2.5 hours this evening. I know that Mike Orneman has got a question for you this evening, Matt. And Mike, what's your question for Matt? And Matt, try and answer it as best you can.
Yeah, so basically my question was really in regards to looking ahead really to the game on Sunday. And, what can Rangers do now? Obviously, they've got to try and bounce back. Obviously, they've got Aaron Ramsey who might come in. It's the first defeat of the season. So, the next, 3 or 4 days, what can Giovanni Van Bronckhorst do to get themselves ready for that game on Sunday? Because it is a huge game now, isn't it?
Sunday has become massive. It is the definition of a must-win match. If Rangers want to stay in this title race, they have to win on Sunday, and Hearts will be no pushover. Aaron Ramsey should come into the team. I'd like to see him and Ryan Jack start on Sunday against Hearts, and I'd like to see Borna Barisic dropped, and Calvin Bassey playing outside on the left, with Liam Balogun coming back in the central defence. But again, it brings me back to some things I said about tonight's match. Questions have to be asked about the team selection and the defensive errors that were on display tonight. McGregor made some key saves tonight, which kept the scoreline down from being 5 or 6. And if it wasn't already an embarrassment, if I was Giovanni Van Bronckhorst right now, and I can't wait to see his post-match interview to see the excuses he creates, I would be going ballistic in that dressing room. I mentioned on commentary that at halftime the players needed a rocket, and looking back on it, I think they needed more than a rocket.
Absolutely there, Matthew, absolutely. I really do agree with you that they needed something more than just a rocket this evening, did Rangers, from with their performance tonight. Just one final one before we do wrap up, guys. If anyone's got a question who's listening to the show from Matt or to Mike this evening, you can just put it in and I'll try and ask it before we finish this evening. But if we just look at the overall performance and looking ahead to the weekend, then obviously you said you'd have made some changes to what started tonight, especially without the impact of some of the substitutes, especially Jack did in the second half for Rangers tonight. Jack and Barisic did for Rangers in the second half. You're in Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's shoes. Not literally, but say you're in Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's shoes tonight. Obviously, Balogun played. Come on for Barisic. You said you'd have probably started him. Fashion, you said you probably would have played him as well from beginning. So, looking from that team that played tonight, so starting lineup tonight, so McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Bassett, Barisic, Arfield, Kamara, Aribo, Diallo, Roof and Kent. From those, with the 3 changes that you made tonight with Fashion, Jack and Balogun, which players would you keep in after that performance tonight for the weekend, Matthew, just before we wrap up?
The players I'd keep in is Joe Aribo, Al McGregor, James Tavernier. Connor Goldson will stay in. Glenn Kamara and Ryan Kent will welcome back Morelos, or at least I hope we welcome back Morelos, and he'll be leading the line on Sunday. But if I know Rangers and what they tend to do is there won't be many changes to that team, if any at all. It would there has to be changes. However, if I was in Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's team, they'd be in training tomorrow first thing, nose days off, and get it sorted.
Yes, absolutely. It would be so many changes as well. And I think, and I probably, like you, Matt, as well, I probably wouldn't give him any days off at all this evening as well. So I'll probably fetch him in tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon at the latest. But just before we do wrap up, thank you to everyone who's listened this evening. And yes, JB, it was a quick break that I did when I took a break between the game finishing and reading out the scores and everything just before we finish there. So I just want to say thank you to the people that's tuned in, titles been in the chat. So that's Lockie, Paul, James, JB, Thaddeus as well, Danny as well, and obviously Michael was on commentary tonight. Thank you to you, Mike. Brilliant commentary as always, my friend. And coming up on the commentary of this weekend, just before we do wrap up, just to let people know what we've got coming up on the channel with some FA Cup coverage. Just to let you all know, on Friday night, join Mike Ornament alongside Luke Turton as they bring you Manchester United against Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. Then join Nicholas Jones alongside Mike Ornament as they bring you Kidderminster Harriers against West Ham United in the FA Cup. On Saturday evening at 8 o'clock, join myself in the presenter's chair once again as I present as we bring you Tottenham against Brighton with John Stuttard and Luke Turton on your commentary team. And then join me on Sunday, lunchtime at 12 o'clock as Liverpool entertain Cardiff, a Cardiff side who have won tonight by a 1-0 against Barnsley. Liverpool not in action this past week also due to the international break for South American sides to catch up with some of the World Cup qualifying campaigns. Then we'll have the return of Trevor Sports and Chris Wyman, our brilliant commentary duo from the third round game that they did in the last round match on the channel for us. They are back in action again on Sunday when they will bring you brilliant coverage of Nottingham Forest's game against Leicester in the last round. Trevor and Chris brought you brilliant coverage of Manchester United and Aston Villa. And on presenting duty on Sunday afternoon with the kickoff at 4 o'clock, it will be JB and he'll be presenting the coverage for you there as well. So we've got a great team and great coverage on the channel coming up this weekend. We just want to say we are in partnership for the season with the streaming app called Melon. Visit their website at melonapp.com. Also, you can visit our Twitter feed as well, Commentary Live. Want to find out what games are coming up. I'll put them on there with who's going to be commentating as well alongside, so you know who's going to be bringing you which coverage of each of the games. And also, like us on Facebook as well. Just go to facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Capital THE Commentary, capital COMMENTARY, capital HUB to get us on there. And the Twitter is at Commentary Live 1, so that's commentary with a capital C, live with a capital L, and the number 1 at the end of it as well to get you fixed over on Twitter as well. And just before we do finally wrap up, Mike Ornament has just got one final thing to say to us. And Mike, what's that for us, my friend?
It was actually Matt. Matt just wanted to make something. He's got a point he wanted to make. He wanted to say something. It wasn't me, but it's Matt. I wanted to just mention something.
Yes, sorry about that, Mike. I thought it was you there, but Matt, over to you, my friend. What have you got? What do you want to tell us about Matt?
Yes, I basically just wanted to thank all the listeners and thank you to the Commentary Hub itself and to Tom, Lockie, JB, Tom, and Mike for tuning in and watching the stream. I hope we did it justice. And Tom, you're in America, so I hope the American fans and viewers are happy with the level of commentary that I gave you all. And we look forward to welcome you onto a stream in the near future.
Yes, thank you there. Some shout outs there from Matthew McCullum as well there. Thank you to anyone who's listening to the show tonight or on the playback. That's all we have got time for this evening. A very big thank you to everyone who is tuned in this evening. We really hope you've enjoyed it. From myself, from Mike, and from Matt. Thank you very much for listening. Mike will be back for you on Friday to start our FA Cup 5-game bomb with a brilliant time as Manchester United host Championship side Middlesbrough. Can the Championship side cause an upset? And will we have an upset on our hands on the channel as we try and fetch you on as Kidderminster take on West Ham as well? Cardiff travel to Liverpool. Brighton travel to Tottenham. And Nottingham Forest play host to Leicester. Forest scores an upset in the last round, knocking out Arsenal. Can they knock out another Premier League side in Leicester City on Sunday? From all of the team here, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye for now.